Good morning, everybody. Glorious, glorious Friday to you all. And holy shit. Okay, Tenwin, thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub to Darkstar. Thank you very much, dude. Holy shit. Also, thank you to Lord Brown Bear for giving those bits at the end of the last stream. I didn't notice that when I was doing the raid. I am so sorry about not shouting that out. Is today the day for murder? I mean, we will be storming a rebel fortress and probably killing everybody inside, so that seems to be a foregone conclusion, Lord Brown Bear. Very much a foregone conclusion. Oh, I know, but still, that's the first bit donation we've gotten. Also, why are the sound effects so much louder right now? Hold on. Alright, we're just gonna drop those. That's better. Okay, right. So we were clearing out this side. I don't like that the game does not remember to put itself. Oh, shh. Okay, apparently we just ran straight into a group of enemies. Alright, alright. 2 spear chuckers, archer, and 1 meleeer. Oh, and people haven't healed from the time that we...
Let me repair it.
Yes, I see that. Can we please heal? Why are we not healing? There we go. Okay, game. You have a tendency to send out a raid before you finish talking. It's a little hard because the raid interface, when I pull it up, covers up chat, so it's hard for me to see stuff. Don't aim. Let me... There we go, Barrack. Go ahead and increase his might. Yes, save that. Moderately increase single... Yes, do that. Just give him more damage. Okay. Oh, what the fuck?
Well struck. Quiet down.
Okay. I'm getting a little annoyed with this. I thought we had already cleared this whole side, and now not only do I find an enemy, but I find a trap.
Spotted something.
Okay, can we please disarm this and get some subterfuge experience, please? Thank you. You saw the Avowed preview stuff. It looks really promising. It's as good as the preview shows. It's really down to the writing. Yeah, the gameplay looks okay. The graphics look solid. The art design looks fine. It really is going to come down to writing and if they continue the excellent world building from the first game, and probably from Pillars of Eternity 2 as well, obviously. No, no, no. Pull back just ever so slightly. I'm going to give me my spells. Nope, can't do that just yet. Best bet is probably the Ice Spike. Okay, hold on. Pause. You cast that. Lantry, go ahead and give me... Where's that AoE? Surge of Glory. There we go. Hit everybody there.
Send them at me.
There we go. Barrack, I need you to hold that guy off. Verse, I need you to immediately go after him. Go ahead and do a Titan's Touch on Barrack. And then we're going to... Let me see here. We should fireball him. Ow. Ow. There we go. Okay, pull him back. Verse is already using Skewer. Good. Let's go ahead and give me a fire spell on him.
Enjoy this as much as I do.
Go. Lantry, keeping everybody buffed. Let's go ahead and use his special attack on them. Let's go ahead and move around to... Actually, hold on. What spells do I still have access to? Still have flash fire, so hold on. No, 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 no! Why are you doing that? And suddenly Verse has lost all of her health. Do that. Give me flash fire. Oh, he's already dead. Okay, move up. Do not fucking die on me, Verse. I swear to God. And we get flash fire on both of them. Barrack goes after him. Verse goes after him. Thank you for the heal, Lantry. Spectral Blur. Go ahead and put that on Verse. Ow. Go ahead and give me False Pit. Please cast it. Please cast it. Please cast it. Thank you.
I'll tear your scalp.
Come on, kill him before he
out.
gets up. There we go. First person gameplay is centered around using both hand.
A foothold could get us into the courtyard.
Yep.
Right.
One of the disconcerting things I saw, though, from the some of the Avowed stuff, I was doing reading because I didn't want to get spoiled by stuff getting announced in the game or whatnot. Cypher abilities are apparently not a thing in the early game at all. Like, Cypher is not an archetype of abilities that you're going to have access to early on. And apparently, the only choice for character is playing a godlike, which is
I'll be
an
your shadow.
interesting choice, certainly. Ooh. Sun Soldier's Javelin. Potion of Protection. Additional health. Drowsy drop. Target versus... Oh, why is that in her? Put that in there. There we go. I don't think there was anything else over here. This all seems to be blocked off. There seems to be a path up here, but I want to see what else is on the left-hand side. When I said they didn't include Cypher abilities because they judged it'd be a bit too complicated. Well, I mean, as I said, I will reserve judgment until the game comes out. It could be that other aspects make up for it. That could very well be the case. Okay, let's go ahead and give these guys a hand. First, go ahead and assist down here. Lantry, give me a stun on that guy. And we will ice spike him.
As you command.
For the glory of Kairos!
Trying to pull the same bullshit Dragon Age 2 did, where they want to give an experience of the setting from the POV of a certain race, but reduces character building as a result. Yeah, that's unfortunate, and I hope that they've compensated for that by including better story elements, or the game is going to suffer, let's be honest.
Right.
Go ahead and set him on fire. There we go. And then we're going to Searing Palm as well. Ow. There we go. Alright, he's got some rings on him. Take those and... Oh. This pungent-smelling swath of linen is a red moss poultice, a traditional greenhorn herbal remedy for smoke inhalation and foul air. Unfortunately, this poultice is torn and cannot be used, but you can sell it. Okay.
Time to lighten my step. Do you have eyes on this?
For the glory of Kairos! I'm not here to make friends.
While they're distracting them, let's focus our attention on this guy. Try to give him some help. Lantry, why are you trying to cast that on me? That doesn't do anything. That's might. Cast that on Barrett. Not dead yet. Pull out the flash fire. Should be able to hit both of them.
I'm not dead.
Come on, hit them both. There we go. Yep, the disfavorative got the rest. Let's focus down on this guy.
What's wrong with my weapon?
Kill him before he heals. Kill him before he heals. Thank you. All right, go for the thrower. Rhyme spike. Hit him with that. Everybody focus on him. Searing Palm, set him on fire.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
Well, here's the thing. If they made it so you can't be a Cypher at the beginning, but certain Cypher abilities are implemented later down in the skill trees, like Awakening Cypher-style powers, okay, fine. I can get that. It would be a bit much for the Cyphers to have them right out of the gate, as or have access to some of those abilities right out of the gate, and could complicate gameplay design. But if they've taken out the abilities as a whole,
I'd say that's worth a
oh,
second
god damn it.
glance.
I was literally about to stop and fix that.
Can't do that.
All right. So the only way over the wall is over here, from the looks of it. Yeah, we can't cross over here, so we've got to cross on the right side. The Earthshakers are focused, readying a spell to bring down the Citadel stone wall, and the powerful barrier magic employed by the sages is impeding their efforts. Though a large crack runs along this wall, powerful barrier magic ensures that it will not be exploited. The sages maintaining it must be silenced first. As I said, I'm not going to be overly pessimistic, Tenwin. I'm not going to say that you're in the wrong or anything, and I'm not going to say that Brown Bear has no reason to be concerned. I hope the game turns out well. A lot of it's going to come down to the writing, and a lot of it's going to come down to the world building that they continue to maintain. That is true to an extent, Lord Brown Bear, but I do have to stress that I think the strength of Pillars of Eternity is on its world building, not necessarily its gameplay mechanics. Especially since Avowed is going to be a very different game. It's going to be a more traditional action RPG, Skyrim style, as opposed to a CRPG with the isometric camera. So I'm willing that should change some mechanics. Again, for me, the important thing is, will the story, the world building, and the writing maintain that consistency? If it does, we'll be fine. If it doesn't, we could have an issue. It's set in the same universe, but it's more of a spin-off. Yes, as I said, I'm more than willing to be accepting of the differences in game design will lead to a different way of expressing that story. I'm just, again, hoping that the story writing continues to hold out. That's my main concern. And I think Lord Brown Bear gets that. I'm not trying to say that he's being overly pessimistic or anything. I'm not trying to say that about you, Lord Brown Bear. You have legitimate concerns. They're the same concerns I have, especially as someone who watched the Elder Scrolls go from Morrowind to Oblivion to Skyrim. Like, believe me, I get it. Okay, we need to kill this guy. Was a writer for White March. That's a good indicator, as long as it's not the person who wrote Andra. Or sorry, as long as it's not the person, I should say, who wrote Maneha. Might be the better way of putting it. Rara was a writer for White March, yeah. We're gonna go with the rhyme spike right off the gate. Okay, hold on. Set that to cast. Then we want Lantry to use Surge of Glory right as the fight starts. Come on, cast it. There we go. Drop out of stealth. Drop out of stealth. Barrack, go for him. Immediately use your ability, please. Immediately use your ability, please. Thank you. Verse, you're going to go for the other one. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can move in close and get a wildfire off. Ow. Oh, no. Get out of Verse's way. Get out of Verse's way. There we go. Ow. Okay. Flash fire. Hit them both.
Sorry, I can't.
Nope, let Lantry cast his buffs. The AI actually does a pretty good job with the buffs on Lantry, so I don't... There we go. All right, now do Searing Palm on the heavier one. Symbol on the banners of the castle, assuming it's Pillars of Eternity 3, but then I saw them going into first person. I literally shouted, oh no, they're doing a Fallout. It was years now, but it was what happened. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I got it.
To be fair, Obsidian doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would abandon Pillars entirely. I'm hoping that they're using Avowed as a attempt to really flesh out a different aspect of the world with a different style of game. That's what, if they do it right, that's exactly what they'll do, and then they'll be able to go back to Pillars of Eternity with even more resources to use later. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. If we can draw them up the steps, that would be easier. Hold on, let me take a drink. That is true, Lord Brown Bear. If you're going to restrict options in character creation, you need to have it reflected in the writing. Take full advantage of that. Are you being a specific type of godlike? I did not read that far if there was any confirmation about that one way or the other.
Right.
You set up there, you set up there. Barrack, can we get you... How far can we get you down these steps? Oh, we can get you really far down.
The right
that works for me. Set up Lantry there.
On it.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're... Okay, so that's the scribes. Hopefully they don't aggro as well. We're going to... Let me see here. Give me a rhyme spike on him. Lantry. Hold on, hold on. No. Don't attack yet. Lantry. Give me the... Where is it? Give me the Surge of Glory. Hit everybody first. Let him start casting. Then we'll rhyme spike.
I got it.
There we go. Barrack, drop out of stealth. Burst, drop out of stealth. Go ahead and give me a skewer on him. Barrack, give me your wall breaker ability on him. Unravel Mind, Spectral Blur. Go ahead and throw that on me, because I have a feeling their ranged person is going to target me. Go ahead and let's keep fireballing the rear line.
Take that.
Oh yeah, Barrick's got a nice solid opener with that big attack of his. Let's go ahead and set him on fire.
I'll hit you twice as hard next time.
Why didn't we? Oh, we missed. That's why. God, we need to get our accuracy up. It's covered in fungus growth, not a nature god. Ooh. Being covered in fungus doesn't sound outside of the purview of being a nature god. Sound outside. Well, to be fair, it could be nature in the sense of like a rot god or something, like a decay god. It might be that you're a godlike from an unknown god or something. I mean, Hills of Eternity 1, I had that whole speculation that some of those ancient gods created by before the Ingwithans, or that existed before the Ingwithans, might have actually been in some form of existence. Ooh, fruit. Can we just engage these guys? Are there any more spell people in here?
Time to lighten my step.
All right, Lantry, before we engage, as per usual, go ahead and give me the Surge of Glory. And then we're going to Fireball. Barrick, rush in with this. Verse, rush in with this. I said rush in with this.
Not happening.
Send them.
Go ahead and stun him, please. All right, go ahead, Searing Palm.
I got it.
There we go. No, take him down before he does that. All right, everybody focus on the last guy. Prime Spike. Oh, knocked Verse back quite a bit. Sage's Hood, pretty useless. All right, that should break down the walls. Ooh, we're going to encounter an Aothas godlike. That'll be interesting. And the walls come tumbling down. I meant to say, Marshall, gather up your troops and get them in here. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, now there's stuff all around. The training dummy is well worn and looks as if it's been patched up and put together multiple times. Armor in this card is old, dented, and looks as if it's almost unusable. The weapons do not appear to be in any better
Might
shape.
we not simply break it?
Ooh, Nobleman's Sandals. Are those better than mine? They are. I'll take that. Okay, hold on. Take that. Put the rest in here. You've reached the maximum number of camping supplies. Of course. Go ahead and equip these, which will further reduce my... There we go. That reduces my recovery time. Very nice.
Right.
All right, now hold on. Wait. Oh no, that's camping supplies. There's no reason to click that. That is a water skin. Take that.
They won't see
Anything
me
hidden?
coming.
Anything hidden? Anything? Nope. All right. Was there anything you needed to tell us? Yeah, I know. Nope. We're actually, we didn't suffer any casualties, so we're good. Our overall rare, even amongst godlike Aoth, is apparently not being a big fan of making children. To be fair, he's also the god of hope and like redemption and stuff like that, so I could imagine him being a bit miffed at the idea of potentially ruining someone's life by making them a godlike. So I could definitely see if Aothas is half the decent deity that Adair seems to think he is, then I'd be very much of the opinion that he probably is not. He probably knows how most cultures react to godlike and is very much of the case of, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. All right, let's give a half save here just in case. Oh, the chorus is trying to break in through the main gate. And it looks like they succeeded. We've got a whole group of mages. They've breached the gate! The chorus has breached the gate! Fall back! Oh, and now we're gonna get into a fight with the chorus, aren't we? God damn it. Oh, for the love of... Oh boy, here we go. Stand aside. Ascension Hall is ours alone for the taking. The fifth eye swings his spear in a broad arc as he roars in a cackling tenor. Withdraw at once before you feel the weight of 1,000 chorus blades and bludgeons. No sooner would a family of maggots beat a pack of wolves. The disfavored commander beckons the Scarlet Chorus forward. Come, I'll take you 5 at a time just to make things fair. Well, in the Dreadfire, most godlings are seen as good except Skane, because Skane, yeah. No, I could definitely see that. I also imagine that it depends on what they worship in general. Like, as you even said, death and nature godlikes are killed at birth because they're seen as bad omens. Well, guess what? Bareth is a bad omen in general. And Galawain is the primary deity of the Glenfothans, so I'm not surprised that the Deerwood isn't very big on nature godlikes. Andra's more neutral for them, and Magrin is basically the patron god of the Deerwood, so it's not surprising that the fire godlikes are treated well. Do you fools not remember that the edict will kill us all if we do not succeed? The commander looks back at you and gestures north. We'll stall them, sir. You make a break for the inner sanctum. Okay. I was really desperately hoping to keep the two of you from fighting, but apparently that is not an option right now.
Right.
Oh. They're here! They breached the perimeter! They're killing! Whistling a shrill warning signal, the Oathbreaker falls back deeper into the keep. Galawain's godlikes are mostly killed at birth because they come out covered in moss and with green skin. It's mostly because they're seen as sickly. That, too, I could imagine plays a part. But again, I have to imagine with the Deerwood's long history, areas that have had poor relations with the Glenfothans probably also don't like them because Galawain is one of the main deities that the Glenfothans worship. Vendrian Gardic weaponry and armor lie here, chipped, scratched, and scarred. These armaments have proven their efficiency and durability time and time again. Interesting. Vendrian Guard heavy gauntlets.
I'll be your shadow.
You think nature godlikes have animalistic genitals? Not I mean, I don't know why we're having this conversation. I'm sure it's not out of the realm of possibility. Then again, most of the, if I remember correctly from even what Tenwin said, most of the nature godlike are more plant-like than animal-like. So, okay, so we've got 4 guys up here. So the fact that godlikes, even the favored ones, have a tendency to leave little survival chance for the mother, apparently giving birth to someone carrying a god's power is dangerous. Yeah, who'da thunk it?
Affirmative.
All right, how close can we get? That's pretty close, actually. What have we got? We've got... Can't tell if that's an archer or a throwing spear. That's a falx. That's a falx. That's a mage. Okay, the mage in the back is going to be a problem. Let's go ahead and... Okay, hold on.
Sorry, I can't. Will do.
Reposition here. Lantry, pull back for a second. As per usual, go ahead and give me that. There we go. We've got the 30% damage. Good. Go ahead and give me a fireball on his location.
Will do.
There we go. Barrack, drop out of stealth. I immediately want you to... Oh, okay, so he's got a bow, actually. We're going to want you to engage them. Verse, you go after them. We've got the Rhyme Spike on them. Lantry, go ahead and give me a Titan's Touch on Barrack if you can. There we go. Good damage. Lantry, give me a stun on their mage. Let's go ahead and finish off the fire. Verse, why did you... What? Whatever. I don't even know why you do what you do sometimes. And funnily enough, that's completely in character. What other spell do I want? Actually, move forward. Move forward. Move forward. There we go. Give me the flash fire. I'm not close enough. Flank him. Now flash fire. There we go.
I'm not dead yet.
Please use it. Please use it. Please use it. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'm somehow drawn aggro from both of them. Lantry, I need healing. Lantry, I need healing, please. Thank you. Okay, apparently we're just not hitting. And we're just still taking... Can you guys please kill him? Thank you. Okay, run. Yep, force him to readjust. There we go. He took a lot of damage for nothing. Aha, and I didn't die. Fuck you. It's also apparent there might be more to Dreadfire. There's a description of a godlike of Andra's birth, and it describes massive waves and downpours occurring during the entire birth, not calming until the child came out into the nurse's arms. Oh, interesting. Trying to give birth to that is understandably hazardous. Yep. They've signs obviously look different, but it's just that until they hit puberty, they go giant mesoforms. Even so, I can't imagine that it's very nice. Like, even if the fire isn't fully manifested, giving birth to a Magrin godlike probably is not a pleasant experience.
On the lookout.
Okay, so we killed them off. They blocked off the entrances this way, which leaves us only one direction to go. Yeah, I already see you over there. Fire in the mess hall still burns. Plates and silverware line the tables. This room hasn't seen combat for generations. The Venturing Guard will never be the same after this battle. Yeah, because we convinced them to surrender before we got this far last time, and this time they decided to try and fight us. Which is going about as well as you'd imagine for them.
On it.
Alright, set up there.
You
Verse
got
set
it.
up there.
Consider it done.
Landry set up there. Surge of Glory. Oh, I'm not close enough. Okay. Scoot in a little bit. There we go. Surge of Glory. Hit everybody with it. Oh, I have only just now noticed that when your character does the animations, they actually hold up the sigils that they use for the spell. That is cool. That is a really nice animation touch. Wait for it. There we go. Cast the fireball. Hit him for 18. Barrack, drop out of stealth. You go after him. Burst, drop out of stealth. You go after him. Go for the Rhyme Spike next.
Spotted something.
I don't like losing half my health in the opening engagement because the enemy just targets me exclusively. I really, really don't like that. Let's see if we can get pull in closer. Go ahead with the flash fire. Hit everybody there.
Sorry, I can't.
Nope, that still works. Go ahead and flash fire. Go ahead and mage hand him again. There we go. Okay, now we're starting to make some progress here. There are different strains of tiefling depending on the type of fiend. One of them is the Quiploth strain tiefling. Yes, I've heard about those. And that's mechanically the best one to pick for any melee build, if I remember correctly, because the bite attack is a natural weapon, so you can use it whenever. Or not whenever, but you can use it in addition to all of your attacks. The claim of I was well because it contained fur, aka referring to Orlans. I find that's so funny because in both, Orlans are some of the biggest badasses. Yeah, pretty much. This interior looks like a reused asset. A little bit. At least a lot of the small details are reused assets, that's for sure. I'm not surprised, but eh. This game was pushed out pretty quickly, largely just, again, for Obsidian to keep practicing with CRPGs. Ooh, light leather gauntlets. Are those better than the ones I have? That puts my recovery back up, but it does give me deflection that's actually decent. It would just put my recovery back to where it was before I got these, and these are actually a lot better. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take that deflection. Yeah. There we go. Bite attacks are a racial alt of all tieflings in the tabletop. I don't think it's all tieflings, because I don't recall that working with all of them, but it has been a while since I played Pathfinder, so you could be correct. I just put that in my inventory. No, put it in there. Also, the sword's working out really well for Barrack, so we're going to go ahead and drop the axe when we find the next merchant.
Slow and steady.
Okay, what have we got here? Ooh. Barrack, back off. Okay. Whew. All right, let's try that again.
Just point me in the
First
right
here.
direction.
On it.
Me here. What have we got in here? We've got 2 spellcasters, and actually it might be 3 spellcasters now that I'm seeing this. In the tabletop, you can Mad Libs alternate racial abilities and replace specific ones, even if you pick a subrace. Alcat has a more streamlined process for it. Ah, good to know. Good to know. All right. Yep, Surge of Glory. Give me that bonus damage, Lantry. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, that is so cool. You're literally holding the sigil in one hand and the accent in the other, and then you force them together. That is... Ah, I love that. I love that. Go ahead and give me a fireball.
Another.
There we go. Okay, they're running forward. Barrack, go ahead and do that. Burst, go ahead and do that. Yeah, they're going to start casting more spells. We need to deal with their frontliner fast. Burst, go ahead, skewer him. Finish him off. Ow. There we go. Let's go with... Use both of my long-range spells. Searing Palm on him. Come on, kill him. There we go, Barrack. Go after the other one. Ow. Okay, we need to move. We need to move. We need to move. Lantry, get the fuck out of there. Heal Verse. What have I got left? I have Flash Fire. Hit them both.
Sorry, I can't.
Come on, hit them both. There we go. All right, everybody gang up on the last mage. Come on. Ooh. All right, combat's still close, but we're not constantly dying anymore, which is great. That is... No, the reduction in accuracy and deflection is not worth it over the armor.
On it.
Eager to learn and able to learn are two very different things. You think literacy being tied to magic would make most people eager to learn? Well, most people also don't have time, because you have to also remember that this is very much this is a late Bronze Age civilization. And what records we have of things like late Mesopotamia, late Greece, was that literacy was not a common trait. Yeah, most people were farmers. And then you have people like the disfavored who might be career soldiers, but that also means that they don't intend to read very much. So we picked up a scroll? Hold on, where did that go? Where did it go? What the hell? Oh, okay, there we go. I was wondering why I couldn't see everything. What happened to that scroll? Where did it... What the fuck? I picked it up. Where did it go? Hold on, sort by... There. So, where the fuck... It's not showing up. I don't like games... Okay, the inventory's being weird. The inventory's being weird.
I'll be your shadow.
What do we
Piece
got?
of cake.
Thank you. Ooh. Ooh. 62% hit deflection, plus 25 parry, plus 5 finesse. We'll go ahead and give that to Verse. That sounds like something she might be using in the near future. There's a reason that education skyrocketed with industrial farming, because you could mass farm, more people were free to do things. With industrial farming, you also had a greater incentive for communities to create essentially community schooling in order to actually teach kids the basics. And from there, once you actually get people moving into the cities, you actually begin to get real schools being made. Ooh, read the scroll, yes. Ooh, Sigil of Force. That's... Oh, that's a new one. And what does that do? So, Concussive Bolt gives the dazed affliction for 12 seconds, which is nice. Slows them by 50%. Ooh, it's a single target and an AoE. Ooh, I like. And then Distant Impact is Tidal Burst. Dazed Affliction for 12 seconds and a 4-meter push. Not bad. I like my pure damage more right now, though, but still, that's not bad. Also, reset. I did remember... Oh, we don't have it yet. I remember... I didn't read up specifically on this, but someone did suggest that once you get people's lore skills a little bit higher, you should basically put the Restoring Touch spell on every single person in the party, because that's your best way of getting healing. And once we get the Sigil of Life, I'm definitely going to be doing that. We need to know more of these. We need to know more of these, because that's what really shifts up how many spells. I mean, to be fair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have the potential for 18 different spells already. Well, maybe not, because I don't think this one had a... Yeah, we can't use the touch one with that. Okay. Still, very cool. I'm still loving the spellcasting system in this.
Cautiously.
Okay. Ooh, okay. This is a big group. This is a big group. Okay, hold on. Give me a hard save. Give me a hard save here. How close can we get? Nope. Back it up. Back it up. There we go. You're right where I need you to be, Barrick. Melee, melee, ranged, and most likely ranged. I think that's the main thing that's been doing a lot of damage to me, is that the enemy brings way more ranged guys than I do, and it still takes a while to chew through their front line. Okay. We're going to Surge of Glory, hit everybody. Wait for him to put the sigils together, and then we time that with a fireball.
Right.
There we go. Go ahead and give me Spectral Blur, please. Barrick, I want you to drop out of stealth. Immediately engage this guy. Verse, I want you to drop out of stealth. Immediately engage him, preferably. And she got stuck on the big dude. That's fine. Knock him prone. I don't care. Just fucking deal some damage. Give me fire. Come on. Okay, we're taking damage. We're taking damage. It's fine. Give me Rhyme Spike. Yep, just cast your buffs. There we... And he teleported. I hate teleporting enemies. Okay, okay. How do we want to do this? We got the mage. We've got meleeers. The mage is probably the more important target. Barrick is taking a lot of hits. Go ahead and use a healing potion. Go ahead and use a healing potion. There we go. Barrick, get in there. What spells do I have left? False Pit. Go ahead and knock him prone. Barrick, please. Barrick, please. Oh, he hit him with a slow spell. That's what's going on. Lantry, can you go ahead and give Verse an upgrade, please? In the meantime, I'm going to Searing Palm him. Come on, kill him. Kill him. There we go. Alright, focus on the archer. Good, they're bunched up. Fireball time. Ow, please stop him from doing that AoE. Lantry still has no healing spell yet. Alright, let's move up. Give me Flash Fire. There we go. We got him. We got him, Barrick. Don't worry. We got him. We're going to work with Verse, knock him prone. That way he can't attack Barrick anymore. Oh, you have no idea how much of a bitch teleporting enemies are. Remember, most demons have the greater teleport spell? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no problem, Tenwin. Drive safe. Drive safe. See you in a bit. Ah. Hey, I know that emote. That's a Phillian emote. Good choice, Brown Bear. I am going to be getting some emotes from the guys who are doing my VTuber setup as well. They included that in their in the package I get from them. So that'll be nice once we get that sorted out. That is an opal. Don't care. Nothing down this hallway? Okay. I imagine the title mage has got to be around here somewhere. Oh, that's interesting. Hold the phone. Did I miss a door? I think I missed a door. No, because there's no way in there. What the hell? Oh, I don't like it when they do that. One of them going to involve in hinging your jaw? I mean, maybe? I haven't decided on the emotes. That's the thing. I really haven't. The artist is still working, finalizing the art, and the rigging team is about to start on the rig itself. So I've still got a while to go. I'm not expecting it until at least either the end of the year or the beginning of next year, but that's understandable. I probably should. There will be a toggle for my character to open his mouth really, really fairly wide, so... Oh, here we go. Okay. Manual save again. No point in stealthing in this. Yep, we're just gonna... Okay. They're spread out and everything. Real Pillars of the Monster Fight. I mean, I don't know. I'd be nice if I had people who liked that I looked good. I hope I look good. Peacebinder. You're the face of the enemy vanguard? Kairos works in mysterious ways indeed. I hope you aren't here to hammer out another truce. We're all out of talk, but we still have a bit of fight left for you. Before you stands Captain Tarkus Ari, de facto leader of the dwindling Vendrian Guard. Short, sunburned, and agitated even when standing still, her body is a compact sculpture of muscle and bone. Her face is short on symmetry thanks to the scars and dents of a dozen brushes with death. Yeah, I couldn't need more than a little. I mean, at this rate, yeah, we've already killed about 5 times as many guys as you've got right here, so... Your lives will end here in Ascension Hall, she chortles, pointing upward to the ceiling, its stone arches somehow supporting the massive weight of the spire overhead. Consider yourself fortunate. Some of the finest rulers of Apex have met death by duel in this hallowed hall. There is no finer place to settle an intractable feud. Sisters, brothers... Ari looks back to her small cadre of soldiers with a solemn nod. It has been a privilege to lead, and an honor to share in your final days. Taking a deep breath, she turns to you, waiting silently. Oh, the bluff could work. Uprising amounted to nothing but dead kinsmen. What kind of hope do we gain from your rebellion? No. I want to try and reduce the capabilities here. This would work if I wasn't a mage, because she could probably even call me out on that. Like, oh, I bring a lot of magic? You're the one tossing fireballs around down here. I am but the first of your problems, Lady Ari. Both the chorus and the disfavored are right behind me, and the one thing they have in common, for all their faults, is a hatred of you. I'm saying that aloud, though, and now I'm worried because they're not idiots. They have to know that the chorus and the disfavored are literally fighting out in the courtyard at this point. But we'll try it. Ha! More gristle to chew upon. However many friends you've brought, we'll be happy to slay them all. The captain nods at her own words, but looks to her soldiers and sees unsettled faces looking back. Steady yourselves. This is our moment of glory. A rallying shout echoes through the chamber, but it does little to bolster the shaking morale of her crew. Is she dumb? I think she's just resigned to death at this point. That's the thing. She's resigned to death. What did you hope to gain from your little rebellion? I worked hard to secure the surrender of your people and fair treatment under Kairos' law. Nothing that we haven't already gained. Our pride, our dignity. These things you can never take from us. She smiles, her eyes distant for a moment. The Vendrian Guard could never stand against all of Kairos' forces, but we can teach others to resist. And maybe you'll run out of soldiers before we run out of stubbornness. Though I doubt it. You would consign your entire realm to death for pride? And you would kill us for not bowing to your banner. I will not let some servile bully lecture me on the subject of pride. Sounds like you could stand to learn something about humility. It's a good thing you won't surrender. If you were a conscript, I'd just whip you to death. Seems your uprising has amounted to nothing but dead kinsmen. And what did taking Vendrian's Well cost you? How many disfavored corpses rust in the valley? How many choirmen fell upon our blades? How goes your endless battle of the Blade Grave while you deal with us here? Ari laughs, wincing as she clutches at her side. And tell me, are the Archons unified in their victory? Did the armies bond in camaraderie over our deaths? Our stand here is but the first of your problems. Send wave after wave of men until you reach your registered price. Kairos has enough bodies to throw at the problem, and he knows you can't kill them all. You've traded your kinsmen to slow the inevitable, nothing more. We demonstrated that the armies of Kairos could be shamed by stubborn peasants. Your empire may be vast and your armies numerous, and his magic unstoppable, yet he cannot destroy our fighting spirit. Hardly the show of force I'd expect from a truly fearsome overlord. I hope that argument keeps you warm in the emptiness of the void, guardswoman. Do you have any last words, Lady Ari? Yes. A broad smile comes over Ari's face. Tell the voices of Narat we are most thankful for his aid, because we could not have made it this far without his support.
I'm not...
Okay, game. I really would have appreciated if you hadn't just had everyone start running in the opposite direction for the person who's going to try and come and kill us. Go with breaking the wall on him. Go with skewer on her. Go with fire... No, flash fire. Because they're about to enter range. There we go. Ow. Okay, we're taking damage. Please use the spell. Please use the spell. Oh my god, it slows the animation so much. There we go. Verse is already almost dead. Lantry, I want you to heal Verse, and then we'll put the buff on her. Go ahead and give me Fireball. Focus it on her. Please heal. Please heal. Thank you. Lantry, no. I need you to buff Verse with the Spectral Blur so she doesn't get hit.
Take care of it.
Give me Ice Spike. Do not let her heal. Do not let her heal. You've got to be shitting me. She's already healing.
Will do.
Verse is getting fucking slaughtered. Pop a potion for me, Verse, would you? Jesus Christ. No, not that. Give me False Pit. Knock her on her ass. No, no, no. Don't focus it on me. Focus it on the whole group, you dipshit. There we go. Come on, kill him. Kill him. Kill her before she gets back up. Thank you. Okay, one's down. I am taking so much damage. First, pop a potion. You can't pop a potion yet. We can heal, though. What spells do we have? Everything is on cooldown. Okay, so... that's the case. We're going to use our special ability with Verse and try to knock this guy on his ass.
Damn thing could.
And it didn't work. And we're still taking damage. We have Searing Palm. Go ahead and use that on... no, actually, use that on him.
Will do.
Come on. No. Barrack, ignore the archer for right now. The mage is more important. Pop a healing potion. Ow. I'm taking heavy damage. I'm taking heavy damage. Oh my god, they're just focusing on me. Leave me alone.
It will take more than...
Please. And I'm come on, come on, come on. Barrack, go ahead. Use that on her. Lantry. Nope, his spell's not up yet. Come on. Pop a healing potion. There we go. There we go. Okay, my spell should be back up. Very nice. Give me Searing Palm for starters. Stun her if you would, please. Verse, go ahead and skewer him.
You got it.
Take that.
Ow. Please focus on somebody else.
Consider it done.
There we go. Alright, we've got him down. Spellcasting blocked? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, we get it. Whew. Welcome back, Marshal. You worthless gnats. We may die, but others will follow our example. Mark our words. The captain coughs up blood. You've bested their leadership. Most impressive. Remind me to never underestimate the battle skills of a Fatebinder. What the fuck? Burning them again, you will abandon your current faction-based quest and instead forge an independent path through the tiers. What the fuck? That's a bit awkward to just... okay, that's a bit weird. How does that not result with on both Barrack and Verse immediately turning on you in this exact moment? Like, what the fuck? I'm honored to have had a hand in this victory. Your help was pivotal. Commander Graven Ash will be hearing an earful about your skill and courage, sir. The clatter and madness of combat has finally ceased. Ascension Hall is, for a moment, tranquil. You need one faction to take the place, but you can decide they're both still incompetent? Ah. May a pox take you, and all your children. Lost favor with the Vendrian Guard, gain favor with the Scarlet Chorus. Ah. Ari slumps to a crouch, her body trembling from injury and fatigue. Yeah, I guess we did still win, so I guess the Scarlet Court. Still wasting your last breath on insults. Barrack, get the top rope. It's Barrack from on high with the steel armor, technically. He's just gonna land on her. Oh god, that's gonna be painful. With those words of defeat, the burning hum that you've heard for days on end tapers off into nothing. Your mind returns to a state of quiet you have not felt since you proclaimed the edict upon Vendrian's wall. I lay claim to Ascension Hall in the name of the Overlord. Let us be free of this edict. You feel a tug in your chest as a warm energy begins to form around you. Before you know it, you feel as if you are lighter than air. Oh. That... see, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Oh. Is that the sigil of the edict? Oh, I guess we're finally gonna find out what this whole spire shit is. Okay. You blink away the last of the luminescent trails in your field of vision. The masonry of Ascension Hall is replaced with a wide open space in every direction, save for the massive slab of ancient stone beneath your feet. High winds shove you, pushing you off balance, and the air is cool and thin, unsatisfying to your lungs. Is this? Lantry looks out upon the horizon, wide-eyed with excitement. Yes, this must be the mountain spire. When was the last time? Sorry, burp there. Lantry's eyes look down over the ledge, dumbstruck by the vertical plunge, and Lantry backs away from the edge. Oh, I may need to retch. The most top of ropes. I'm about to say, do you think if we enchanted Barrick's armor enough, we could launch him at someone from up here and he'd survive? That would be hilarious. Well, this is certainly a change. The wind ruffles the feathers in her hair, and Verse quickly smooths them down. Damn cold change. She peers over the edge. I think I could land on my feet if I jumped. Not that it would matter for long. Kairos, be merciful, what now? Barrick spins around on his feet, looking around, trying to take in as much as he can through the narrow visor of his helmet. In every direction you look, mountains rise up along a distant horizon. The rivers and forests below bring to mind maps of Vendrian's Well, and you quickly trace the Matani, the Irenev, and all the mysterious numerous waterways of the region. Graven Ash's protection would probably let him survive. Maybe. I mean, at this height, with that much armor on, he'd probably shatter every bone in his body. Higher than you imagined it, this is indeed the pinnacle of the spire at the center of Vendrian's Well. How did we get all the way up here? Ari strains to stand, clutching at her side. Another question is how in the name of Graven Ash do we get down? The Iron Marshal walks to the edge, trembling a half-pace back as she peers downwards. The warriors below must be sensing that the edict has ended. We should be down there by their side. Much as I would relish the opportunity to fight alongside my fellow disfavored right now, I cannot begin to imagine the chaos unfolding beneath our feet. Barrick clenches his fists with a squeal of metal and turns away. Interesting, you don't need to kill Tarkus to pull this off. Oh, interesting. Graven Ash's ability allows you to regenerate. It doesn't stop death. Yeah, a fall from that height would just be instantaneous death. Just splattered all over the ground. If this is indeed the spire, I hereby claim this place as an extension of the court of Tunon. All combatants must leave. This is no longer strictly a military concern. We need to take a breath and sift through what's just happened. You would claim this place for Tunon? That would actually be a strategic advantage for the disfavored. We can't spare soldiers to garrison this place, but we'd like to deny the chorus any foothold. The Iron Marshal nods, slowly at first, then with confidence. I will happily counsel Graven Ash to support your claim. Then send word to your commander that we are successful. That was a worthy battle. Not since Stalwart have I seen such courage and determination. Oh, but the siege needed you spans ago, sir. Agreed. I'd be honored to deliver your auspicious message in person, but... She points down over the ledge. Wow. Hand her a note. The parchment will survive the impact. Oh my god. Oh, I could see Verse salivating at the idea of being allowed to do that to her. Oh my god. No, we are lawful, competent evil. We want to capture enemy combatants so that we can interrogate them for information. I think the blast of magic from the spire and the edict's end should make a clear message to all. Nonetheless, Graven Ash will want to know that you are safe, Iron Marshal. Go through the portal and report to him directly, then return with any news. Imagine grabbing her, pulling a flying pile driver from this height. Oh my god. As you said, from the toppest of ropes. No telling how stable it is, but look closely and you can see images of Ascension Hall in the haze. Well, if you have trained eyes, that is. Of course, even if it's not stable, the alternative is jumping, so what do we have to lose? Oh, how did I not notice that? The portal's shimmering contours glimmer the moment you call out its presence. Assuming this takes me back to the hall, I'll carve a path to Ash and let him know the score. With a resounding clatter, Arenios beats her breastplate in a salute. Glory to Kairos. Gain minor favor. Glory to Kairos. Gain wrath. No. Send the Archon of War my regards. Thank you for being the edge of our blades, sir. We've been short-handed even since we took the Gates of Judgment, and these Oathbreaker fights well above their station. Without you in the vanguard, this would have been a bloodier day. There's no telling if we could have seized the hall in time. Nerat's treachery means war. I trust we'll be able to rely on your continued support in the coming trials. Yeah, by teleporting high to the sky and nosediving with an enemy. The enemy in question was a monk. It didn't work. Yeah, no shit. I had a D&D campaign where one of our barbarians' favorite moves was to have the druid cast Windwalk on them or something. I can't remember if it was actually called Windwalk or something else. They would climb up into the sky outside of where the enemy could see them. And then when the rest of the party engaged the fight, they would come plummeting down. And they would basically use their axe as a way to slow their... I don't know how they did it. It was stupid. They had specifically enchanted their armor to, like, prevent fall damage or something like that. So they would just land on top of an enemy with their axe. It was usually a great way to kill off at least one enemy right at the beginning of the combat. We eventually used it to tear a wing off of a dragon to keep it from flying away. We literally had to distract a dragon while she just climbed up to basically terminal velocity height and then dropped on him from above. Tore off one of his wings with an axe strike, and that actually equaled the fight, so we didn't have to worry about the dragon just flying off and eviscerating us from the skies with a breath attack. No doubt, I'm the very definition of an enemy of the Overlord. I didn't just resist, I led others into resistance. But I know what's about to happen. Wait, so I know what's about to happen, but I know when I've met my match, and like most folk, I'll do whatever it takes to live. You will show me mercy, I will pledge my life to you. Fatebinder. Really, I lose loyalty from her even just because we beat her. That's a little annoying. Bro, that sounds awesome. It was one of the best campaigns I'd had, and it was quite good. It was quite good. The Tidecaster bows to one knee, lowering her gaze. I know I am but an Oathbreaker, so my word isn't what it used to be. But I promise if you spare me, I will serve you well. Hag party member. I mean, she's either a hag or it's a white-haired anime girl, which is also amazing. So we'll definitely go with that. Oh, wow. Why would I possibly trust you? Because I'm out of reasons to fight. The Vendrian Guard and the School of Tides are no more, leaving me with no loyalties or ties to anyone. He is mature. Okay, I mean, still fine. It doesn't look bad. We must all bow to Kairos eventually, right? I would die before swearing fealty to the voices of Nerat, and Graven Ash would kill me in a heartbeat. If I am to serve anyone in this new order, it should and must be the Archon of Justice, and you are the only servant of Tunon I can think to ask. Serve me well. Serve Kairos well. Serve the law of Kairos well, and it will be forgiven. You will have my fealty, it is yours. I am Ebb of the Tidecasters and do hereby pledge my life and loyalty to you, Fatebinder Savani. He dips in a formal bow. I shall serve and obey, so long as you have need or want of my skills. Wonder what my mercy as a price does. Yeah, I was kind of a little squicked out by that option, not gonna lie. Because that can have a lot of implications. Well, for right now, honestly, this is a good setup. We've got our frontliner, we've got our flanker, who can also dodge tank a bit, we've got our combat mage, and we've got our support mage. This is another thing. I don't like... I'll be very honest. I think 4 party members for a CRPG is very limiting. I prefer 5 or 6. I think that is a fair number. It can get a little hectic. It can also mean that some combat encounters can be overtuned. But quite frankly, I always feel like having only 3 companions just... Especially if there's a fairly decent roster of companions, feels so limiting. It's one of my only gripes with Baldur's Gate 3 from what I've seen of it. Oh, no narration for this one. Vendrian's Well has fallen. For the second time since the conquest began, Kairos' armies have taken the citadel from its defenders. With your help, The Vendrian Guard's rebellion has been crushed. You claimed Ascension Hall alongside the ranks of the disfavored, satisfying the terms of Kairos' baleful edict. You and the forces of Kairos are now free from the Overlord's death sentence. With the threat of execution no longer looming overhead, the Overlord's armies turned their attentions away from the Citadel and towards each other. The tensions that had flared over the long siege have reached an explosive crescendo as the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus armies begin to clash clashed irons and bronze in a hasty and disorganized battle. As his forces were cut down, the voices of Narat and his officers escaped to the Stone Sea, leaving the conscript army to carry on their battle against the disfavored. And in the aftermath, the disfavored broke camp and withdrew to their fortress along the border of the Blade Grave, there to regroup and prepare for the extended campaign against the Chorus. Having taken Vendrian's Well for yourself, Archon Graven Ash recognized your lawful claim to rule and occupy the spire in the name of the Archon Tunon. As several days passed, the wounded and injured were nursed back to health. You explored your strange new bastion and planned your next steps with careful deliberation. As word spreads that the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored have turned on one another, factions once resolved to bend the knee are inspired instead to continue fighting. The Archon's feud has heralded the collapse of Kairos' offensive within the tiers. Tunon, Archon of Justice, observing the chaos and discord spreading across the land, the Archon has summoned his Fatebinder to return to court at the Bastard City and report on his actions in Vendrian's Well. Yep, even though no messages got out, all it took was, really, the civil war between the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus is, in some ways, far more dangerous to Kairos' empire than a random uprising in the middle of nowhere. Worse, these aren't just any armies. These aren't just random armies of mortals. These are favored armies of two Archons. That means so much more, propaganda-wise, to Kairos' enemies than just two random armies fighting each other. Civil war. What a shame that it has descended into this. Archon Ash will want to meet and discuss the next steps. Best that you regroup in the Iron Hearth. Gather your strength, but don't leave the Archon waiting. Send Ash my regards. The General's done much for me, and I wish he was here to see this. Tell the Archon I'll join the Archon at Iron Hearth after I speak with my Lord Tunon. That would be best, sir. She shakes her head and looks out on the spire with fresh bewilderment. It's not enough that we're fighting two wars. Now we have this to puzzle through. I don't envy your position. We'll see you at the Iron Hearth. Fun fact, there was a big complaint when Pillars of Eternity 2 came out that you had 4 companions, 5 characters instead of 5 and 6. Yeah, fair. I mean, that's also something that I feel like you don't really want to change mid, series. Because that could really mess with people in the way that if they get used to a very specific way that a CRPG is run. The dizzying energy from the spire falters. Whatever force awoke the powers that reside here gutters and slowly fades, though a faint hum persists in the sculpture at the center. That's odd. There was a portal here a moment ago, but it seems to have vanished. Calm down. We can fix this. Wrath? Okay. The magic is older than anything I've witnessed. I'd rather seek the Archon's guidance than fiddle with it. The humming from the curious sculpture pulses and builds in volume as if to draw your attention. Pillars 1 felt too easy pretty often, especially when some kith would start a fight with you with fewer than 6 people on their side. I can see that, but sometimes bitch encounters, as we might call them, people doing stupid shit and catching your party and just getting slaughtered, is a staple of RPGs.
Salutations, Fatebinder. Or should I now call you Lord of Vendrian's Well? The Spire King? Prince of the suggestive vertical slab.
Will admit, I do like that last one. It is pretty funny. Okay, Lord Brown Bear. Okay, I can see where your don't get me wrong. Verse is probably hotter, but Verse is also a living embodiment of do not stick your dick in crazy. No, it's all right, Tenwin. It's all right, Tenwin. It's okay. And no, Brownberry, it's all right. Trust me. Oh, first-time chatter, Jello. Welcome, welcome. You should. It will cost you in trauma, but you should. Of course, Sint over here advocating the chaotic option. We do have a bit of loyalty for her. We also do have a bit of fear. Fatebinder is fine. There is no need for other titles.
That is how I met you, so that's how it's going to stick in my mind. So if I might ask, what is your plan now? The edict no longer looms overhead, and Kairos' conquest of the Tears seems to be slipping, what with the armies and civil war.
Improvising, pledges to destroy the Scarlet Chorus. Oh, she likes that. Disfavor the Scarlet Chorus, all the Overlord's minions will fall. No. I will crush the remaining local opposition and complete the conquest. None of your concern. The first order of business. I must speak with my lord, Tunon.
I would counsel you to do just that. I'm sure the events of Vendrian's Well are best explained from your mouth to Tunon's ears. Furthermore, I'd guess the Archon of Justice would want to know your take on the Archons and their divide.
The plan right now is to finish off the remaining local opposition, complete the conquest, and end this inane infighting between the Scarlet Chorus and the Disfavored.
I see. I'm sure there's little I can do to persuade you otherwise. Just consider that the people of the Tears will someday bow to Kairos. Why not have them bow to you instead?
Interesting that that lets me also still talk about this. The plan right now is to defeat the Scarlet Chorus.
Then you have my full support. The Scarlet Chorus has grown in the years of conquest. Among the Horde are Tearsmen fighting because they felt there was no choice, as well as Tearsmen fighting to watch their homeland burn. It pains me we will have to slay some of the former.
Bitch put on her Palpatine hood. I mean, she saw an opportunity to stay alive and to influence the new regime. I can't fault her for, like, she's obviously the token, like, solidly good companion, but I like that right off the gate, she is fully on board with duplicitous, underhanded dealings in order to get her way. She might be the good companion, but she's more than willing to do shit in order to get that done. And I actually kind of respect that. That's actually kind of nice for a companion like that, especially in a game like this. Do you have any additional suggestions, Eb?
My first suggestion would be to build a boat. Something durable, and take our chances on the high seas far from Kairos.
Yeah, Kairos has already conquered a continent. I'm pretty sure building a navy is not going to be a problem for him.
I have a second and more practical suggestion. Look to the horizon and slightly up. By that I mean the other spires. We should see what's atop the others. Otherwise someone else might look first.
What do you know of the spires within your land?
Not nearly enough, apparently. To me, they've always been axioms of navigation. You can triangulate a lot of things with a sextant and a clear view to a spire or two.
Actually, in a Bronze Age civilization that probably has issues with literacy, being able to make very accurate maps because you have things that are taller than the mountains sticking up out of your land masses actually would be a very good benefit. It would allow you to actually create fairly accurate cartography despite the limited tools. He need time to train a navy, and the way he manages his army, that doesn't seem to be efficient. Civil war has just occurred. True, true. Though, again, he has an entire continent of resources at his disposal. He could be building a navy on the other side of the planet for right now, and none of us would have any idea of what's going on over there. Literally thousands of miles away.
We've long known the spires radiate strong magical fields, and all save the mountain spire connect to the old walls. So it's the sort of thing common folk know from afar, but avoid day to day.
That is all
Well,
for
short
now.
of Tunon giving you orders on pain of death, you have the luxury of acting on your own volition, though the Scarlet Chorus are likely to come for you. Whatever you decide, I'm at your disposal.
Average fear, lose loyalty. Your assistance will be most helpful. Continue to serve well, and you may earn your redemption within the eyes of Kairos and Tunon.
And I am thankful to not be a bloody pile of offal in Vendrian's Well. Life under your banner will, I'm sure, prove most interesting.
I'll talk to you in a bit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to save some companion conversations
Honest.
for Sunday, just because we'll have more time to work with there. Huh? Are you content to wander around looking for conversation? Some of us want to head down to rejoin our troops. There's a war on in case you're missing that. I won't rest until the teleporter gets working again, and I suggest you do the same. But I take it you have questions. How do you think your commander will respond to the Civil War? Learn the word awful? Yep. I am aware of its meaning. The problem is I can't say it and not just automatically think of awful, A-W-E-F-U-L. So, Good. The Star Wars The Old Republic storytelling, there's always something in the outer reaches. Yep. With tact and coordination, the voices of Narat is chaotic, emotional, and baseless. Graven Ash is going to dismantle the chorus and wipe its leader from the face of Taratus. Count on it. Tell me about yourself, Iron Marshal. She blinks at you and shakes her head. Fatebinder, I'm the lieutenant who's going to start kicking people off this spire if I don't get that teleporter flickering to life. Now is not the time for me to rattle off accomplishments and hopes for the future. Save it for after the war. All right. I'll start investigating the teleporter. I think that would be best. She crosses her arms and shivers against the cool breeze. Hold on. There is some stuff over here. Wait a second. What is this? Ooh, Spire Rest bonus. +5 to all skills until next rest. Nice. To the east, you see deep ashen clouds surrounding the burning library. So I guess she's no nonsense. Well, and to be fair, she is in a place, she is at the top of a spire, which is apparently so large that you can see it from almost anywhere in the tiers. It is entirely magical in nature, which is something that Disfavored already have an issue with. And she's basically in the one place in the world where Graven Ash's protection isn't going to do jack shit if anything happens. I can understand why she's a little nervous. The Disfavored also strike me as a very community-driven organization. She is literally the only one up here aside from Barrack, and I think that's getting to her a little bit. On closer inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure comes into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow, and the pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floors of Ascension Hall moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. She too far away? I don't think it's a matter of her being too far away, but the only ways down from here, the only fate up here if you can't get the teleporter working is leap off and die from the impact or die of starvation up here. And I don't think that Graven Ash's protection helps against starvation. And if it does, it's probably not very nice. Could you imagine being on the cusp of dying from starvation, but the protection from Graven Ash is keeping you alive just barely? If she was stuck up here, could you imagine? Wonder if awful and offal have a similar source, like awful coming from offal. Actually, Tenwin, if I had to hazard a guess, and this is totally just a guess. Knowing how the English language works, I will bet you anything one has a Latin/Romance language root and the other has a Norse/Germanic root. And they just happen to sound similar. Because knowing English, that's exactly how it is. Fucking 3 dialects in a trench coat that mug other languages for grammar. That's the English language for you. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind abates slightly and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. I'd be careful going any closer. The whole tower is humming with energies that we just do not understand. Lantry holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. We should find out what it does. Just be cautious. You staked your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. Do I feel dizzy? Do you feel dizzy? Barrack massages the brow of his helmet, causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across the expanse. What is this thing? The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words, and for a brief moment the solid rock undulates. The same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? Your voice, for a moment there, it sounded like a song. The sculpture is once again still. There is a rush of warmth through your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine that your brain was interpreting the signals of. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. in that moment, there is nothing you cannot see, although you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, 2 walls extending off into the distance. At the base of this eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up at the sky, towards you. Though you haven't seen it in person, you are certain that this is a vision of Lethian's crossing, for nowhere else are the Tearsmen brave or desperate enough to settle at the intersection of the bane-ridden old walls. Near this settlement built at the joining of these ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden, hidden realm within the old walls. Drift closer to the spire. The spire feels familiar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone, a branch withering once pulled from its tree. It reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. Drift into the old wall's entrance. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with slight delay. There is a feeling of perversion, of wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this dark place. Figures haunt the halls, drifting emanations of cloud, claw, and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light, an arcane symbol illuminating the floor, though the details hurt your eyes as you attempt to focus. Then with a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon. It takes you a moment to recognize it as Vendrian's well. You've returned to the awareness of your immediate surroundings, the effect leaving you unsteady on your feet. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mythical energies, for the moment, are quiet. Your body is flooded with excitement and fatigue, unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning from you. The tower offers nothing by way of an answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation ends, but the positions of the other spires linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above their distant surroundings.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Did you sense that? Lantry signs a long sigil in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. Oh, the ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. That portal over there, the burning braziers, they all grow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended the edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, sounds like something the arcane-minded to investigate. Be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon, Fatebinder. We cannot let the chorus gain hold of the tears. Together, we will wipe them from the land. Come to me as soon as you can. We have much to do. Okay. Can we... Sculpture does not respond to your touch.
Can't do that.
Okay, nothing else. To the west, you see the shining spire of Lethian's Crossing. Is there another mark up on the north side? Nope. Alright, so I guess that's all we can do up here. Oh, okay, yeah. Ascension Hall, Vendrian's Well Citadel. Well, we'll start with Ascension's Hall. Teleport down. Aha! All that remains on the plates and the goblets are molded bits of bread and dingy water. A decent meal hasn't been had in this room for some time.
How'd you take a look at that?
What did you find, First? What did you find? Hello? What did you find? Ah, there it is. Oh, the Trickster's Tooth. One-handed and thrown. Interesting. On weapon crit, minus 10% recovery time for 14 seconds. Nice. Might give that to Lantry so that he has a better throwing weapon. Now, Verse can use that hidden dagger slot in her boot. I mean, I wish we could, but we can't. I mean, I suppose... No. Let me see here. It's got better... Oh, wait. Yeah, that does add plus 10 to his control life, which is his more valuable skill. Could we use it maybe as a throwing weapon? I prefer the javelin. We're going to drop it off in the inventory then for right now. Oh. This bow was fashioned to scatter formations of enemy soldiers from afar and has seen more than its share of combat. Oh, interesting. Guess we could give that to Verse as a backup weapon for her. I've also noticed, in contrast to Pillars of Eternity, they made the doorways in this game quite a bit wider. I think they caught on to the fact that a lot of players were just stacking up 5 ranged characters behind one blocker in Pillars of Eternity and then just funneling the enemy towards them. I think the game designers might have gotten sick and tired of that. The intricacies of this architecture suggest a master of craftsmanship that is far beyond what one would expect of a normal tiersman. The stone throne is caked with a solid layer of dust. No one has sat upon it for quite some time. And we have our banners now here. That's cool. Oh, there's nothing else here? Okay, hopefully we get more down here at some point. Oh, Lantry, I almost forgot. Sorry about that, buddy. Oh, wow, his control life skill is high already. Even if you take off the 10 that he gets from the other abilities. All right, let's get him up to 19. That'll max out his spell stuff. We can start working on his accuracy and his cooldown next. Entry revives a companion. Yep, we got that. Passive gives him 10% magic defense and 3 armor arcane. Or we can increase his vigor skill. Would be neat. Knife in boot when knocked prone, deal X damage to attacker. That would be kind of cool. And it would be right up there with how Verse does her stuff. That's for sure. We'll just continue buffing his magic. We're just going to keep making his magic better. Oh. Oh, we have access to this whole place now. Well, this place better definitely get more interesting as the game goes on then. Like, right? It better. They've given us a whole place here. Go ahead and unlock that. Hello. Its partial plans describe the process for creating a more powerful weapon, but more research is needed to fill in the gaps in the plan. This research can be made with a Spire library upgrade and the proper materials. Ooh. Wait, do I have to... Oh, did that automatically... Did that... I take it that automatically... There we go. Okay, so we don't want to... Okay. You mentioned you were familiar with some Swedish dishes. Are you familiar with wort-bread? No, I will admit, Tenwin, I only know about Lutefisk because I used to watch... as I said, I used to watch the Travel Channel, and they did a couple of episodes on the Midwest where there's a lot of Swedish immigrants, and the show just would not shut up about Lutefisk. Like, it would not shut up about Lutefisk. That was like the big thing that the guy was like, oh my god, everybody says I have to try Lutefisk and stuff. And that was like 90% of the episode. So calling me familiar with Swedish dishes is very much overselling what I know of them. But I'm going to assume it's some kind of bread. I certainly hope so. It would be my luck that it wouldn't actually be a type of bread, despite being called a wort bread. Impressed with how often you predict stuff in these games. I'm pretty good at putting this stuff together, and I can guarantee Tyranny is totally blind. I have no fucking clue I have no clue what's coming next. As I said, I honestly thought the whole Civil War angle was going to be much later in the game. These small barracks are nowhere near large enough to keep the Venturing Guard comfortable and well rested. Sleeping occurs in shifts with soldiers rotating bed. Makes sense. Bloodstains litter the training ground. Venturing Guard trainees spar in this area, perfecting their martial craft. Well, not anymore, they don't. This was the areas that were locked off. Oh, we missed this. That is Locked Iron Gauntlet. There's a plan for Locked Iron Gauntlets. Can be created with access to a Spire Forge upgrade and the proper materials. Very nice. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Oh, and there's a maintenance call. Oh, so much like... Oh, the scrolls are a resource. Iron ingot, bronze ingot, alchemy supplies, hides. I should have sold that hide then. Scrolls. Oh, okay. Oh, it's current edict. Ooh. In the year 430 TR, Kairos the Overlord proclaimed the edict over the Vellum Citadel in the contested lands. It is our most solemn duty to protect the citizens of our empire from all dangers, including the danger of knowledge that is forbidden. Let those who in their burning arrogance hold tightly to this lore be consumed by our wrath. Therefore, let the fires of Taratus rise up and consume them for as long as forbidden knowledge lies within the heart of the Vellum Citadel. I'll bet you anything, all of our area quests are going to deal with this, because it says that the fires will continue until forbidden knowledge, for as long as forbidden knowledge lies within the heart of Vellum Citadel. We're going to go find that knowledge. I'll bet you anything. Is a classical Christmas bread. Oh, Easter too, but it's majorly Christmas. Bread baked with wort, which is essentially some remnant after making beer. Oh, okay. Frequently containing raisins. It is a dangerous bread in the sense that it is really good and will disappear damn quickly. Common thing is to eat it with thick slices of ham and a very spicy rough mustard. Oh, I see. So it's basically it's a sweet, dense, dark bread, and you pair that with something very savory like the mustard and the ham. That does sound really good. And I've got to be, Tenwin, be very careful describing carbohydrate-heavy dishes to me. I am a bread fanatic, and I have done everything in my power the last few years to curb that slightly so I don't gain weight again. I wonder if the edict requires a clause to discontinue it. It wouldn't surprise me, given the nature of magic in a lot of settings, if the only way that an edict can be as powerful as it is if it has a condition that ends it. Almost like a safety valve. Like if you didn't include that, the magic would just build up and build up and build up and then cause a catastrophic failure. You buy a good loaf of bread and then it vanishes 2 days later. No, Tenwin, you know what's even worse? Is when you make a good loaf of bread in your own home and it still disappears 2 days later because god damn it was good. I have done that unironically and it is horrible for my waistline. It's amazing in the moment, but it is horrible for my waistline. The one time, I'll give a little short story here. The one time I got blackout drunk, the first time I got blackout drunk. I've only got blackout drunk twice in my entire life. The first time I got blackout drunk, I woke up the next day. I was chatting to a friend of mine on Skype, and I was complaining about my hangover. This was the first time I'd ever had like a really major hangover. And he's like, oh, well, I've got a little more experience drinking than you do. A lot of people will eat greasy foods or bread when they're hungover to help absorb it in their system and help flush their system. And my sleep-addled, hangover-ridden, still working out the alcohol fucking brain decided, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to make myself a loaf of bread. Originally made to take as many carbs as possible from as little as possible, but man, it tastes so good. Oh, it does. I unironically, I went down, I finished my conversation with him and still suffering from a headache. I went downstairs. I got flour, salt, a little bit of sugar, some yeast, water, eggs. I put it all together. I made myself a fucking loaf of bread, and then I sat at that kitchen counter and I ate the entire damn thing. It took like 2.5 hours between making it, letting it rise, and then finally baking it and eating it. But I'll be damned if that wasn't the best bread I'd ever had in my life. All the while suffering from a hangover. To drink olive oil to line their stomach so they can drink other people under the table. Really? That works? Or are you... Wait, the fact that you say tell someone, that says to be more that that's a quick way to get them to throw up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Lord Brown. Imagine you're doing it dry, no butter, no toppings, just nomming out. Tenwin, that's what I was doing. I had a hot loaf of bread fresh out of the oven. I waited all of about 5 minutes just so that it got cool enough so I could touch it, and I literally just started tearing into the damn thing. I didn't even think about putting butter on it. No, Tenwin, I can't stress this enough. I sat at a kitchen counter with my phone next to me with YouTube on, watching funny videos while I shoved fresh baked bread directly into my mouth. As I said, I was running off of maybe 3 hours of sleep, blackout drunk, and when I had woken up in a pool of my own vomit in the bathroom. It was about the bottomest of the bottom of the barrels of days that I'd ever had. So trust me, I was not functioning on all cylinders there. That is some really low point trash behavior. It happens sometimes, drinking ketchup from a bottle at 2 a.m. Okay, I've never drunk ketchup from a bottle. Wow. You've made me hungry. I'm going to cook a pizza. Oh, don't tell me about pizza. I've been good on my diet this week, and I've actually been making progress. As long as my net weight is down on Saturday, I treat myself on Saturdays. I just need to get through today, and I just need to not be tempted. I'm eating a triple onion burger. Oh, for the love of... I shouldn't bring up food with you people. All you're going to do is make me hungry. Let's get back to reading about Kairos. Yeah, see, it's even got them. No active edict. It does have them. Interesting. And nuggies. Oh. It's Kairos like nuggies. I imagine that Kairos has controlled the trade of nuggies so that he has access to the best nuggies. All other nuggies are inferior. If it's not fit for Kairos' court, then it's not a true nuggie. Should look like an insert fat. Just be careful about that, Brown Bear, because your metabolism will slow. No matter how fast it is now, it will slow as you get older. Be careful. I had a classmate in high school. I literally watched this man. We went to a sport competition together, and on our way back, the driver stopped at a McDonald's. And I swear to God, he walked up. The rest of us ordered. He waited till the end. The rest of us ordered. He walked up to that counter, and his order was, I shit you not, 10 cheeseburgers, 10 McChickens, and a Big Mac. And the guy was the fucking skinniest person there. He ate that on the, maybe not on the regular, but he was never shy. Whenever we stopped somewhere on the way back from a competition, he packed that away no problem. How? I don't know, Jello. I still do not fucking to this day know. I do remember specifically he got into a eating competition with one of the other guys on the team at one point. And I think his record was 16 double cheeseburgers. The other guy managed to get 15. He topped out at 16. The best part about that story was the competition was to see who rode shotgun on the way home. And while they were stuffing their faces, one of the other guys just went and sat in the passenger side seat of the car. So it was all for nothing. Yes, 16. I'm not joking with you, Tenwin. 16 double cheeseburgers. Tenwin, you're asking the wrong person. I don't have a goddamn clue. I don't have a goddamn clue. Ugh. In the year 430, the Overlord proclaimed an edict over the realm of Stalwart. Those who, in pride and arrogance, stand against the peace and order of our empire shall be ground beneath the stones of their land. Let those who call themselves unbroken, who embrace the chaos of war in defiance of our order, be broken in the storms of our rage. Let our storm rage until the last blade be broken or the line of regent falls. How do you fit that physically? Man has an ogre in his family tree. He has something. He was also the school stoner, so maybe the weed had something to do with it as well. I don't know. I just do not know to this day. In the last year of Kairos' conquest, when the Archon Cairn rebelled against the Overlord's rule, an edict was proclaimed upon the realm of Azure. To preserve our peace, the promise of safety to our citizens, all Archons must submit to our will. Any Archon who refuses proper submission must be brought to justice. Therefore, let the foundations of Azure be shattered and life drained from the land while the traitor Cairn draws breath. Interesting. Okay, Spire upgrades. Is there anything we can actually do here? I'm imagining these are going to have a cost. We had one of those when I went to high school. The bastard was a salt freak. He got salt chips and added salt to them. Can't imagine his blood pressure. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, some people just built different. Not built better, just built different. I'll have a target and a clause to end it. Yeah, as I said, Brad Bear, I think that's part of the magical system. The edict has to have very specific language and wording, and it has to have a way to end itself. Again, I think that's essentially a magical safety valve. If you tried to make an edict unending, it would probably just backfire on you and explode. It would basically be a magical backlash. Those are bronze rings. We do have plenty of bronze rings. Specializes in one-handed, two-handed, dual-wield, parry, and dodge. Wow. So she covers a lot, and she's expensive compared to the others. Oh, no, wait. Bronze ring. Oh, never mind. These are way more expensive than I thought. Possible that the laws of magic might not allow you to cast such spells without an ending clause. Yeah, exactly, Tenman. Exactly. Merchant with a motley collection of items for sale will create camping supplies periodically. Yeah, it sees maintenance costs none. I'm worried about how high the maintenance cost gets because there has not been nearly as much loot in this game as in Pillars of Eternity. We have not found nearly as much loot to just flood the market with yet, and I'm kind of concerned about that. No good Zoggin loot. I mean, there's good Zoggin loot. There's just not much loot. And if you're going to funnel it all into upgrades and stuff, you need a lot of loot. Oh, with the ability to change what skills you're proficient in. Interesting. That explains why he's so expensive. Swordbreaker. Skill trainer who... He is the cheapest. Yeah, but it never felt like enough at the time. It's the same thing that prevents me from using consumables, is I always think I never have enough money. You should have seen the first time I played Skyrim. Oh god. I was so miserly while carrying around hundreds of thousands of gold coins. My character was a walking bank and I still refused to spend most of it. In Pillars, you don't have enough money until you have all the money and it stops mattering. Yep. Especially since we could have had more if I hadn't bought and sold, so if I hadn't bought and then kept so many of those uniques that I just really never used. Okay, well, Battlefield Scavenger. Conquest. A swindler from the bastards who acquire valuable items left unattended. Interesting. We'll start with Corpse Eye. Battlefield Scavenger with many unique items for sale. Good. Oh, so that's no maintenance costs. Really? Oh. Wait, hold on. Close the screen and then open it back up. Yeah, no maintenance costs. Oh, okay, so these are just hires, right? Oh, okay. If that's the case. That's the case. I still don't want to spend all of my money. Got a missive. Yeah, we will look at that in a second. If that's the case, Battlefield Scavenger with many unique items. We'll go ahead and grab him. And we'll grab the other merchant, and that'll be all that we spend on this right now. Missives, the Dawn of Ascension. Sovani, the Archons inform me that the recapture of the Citadel from the Vendrian insurrectionists continues apace. That they wrote me separately of their divergent tactical intentions engenders no small concern, but I trust now in your efforts. May your good judgment see you through the coming confrontation with glory and success, and back to the safety of our court. Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. Now, I might change his voice if we ever actually run into him and his voice is very different, which it probably is. But for right now, we'll just go with that. Just read something, you've played Dragon Age Origins, right? Yes, I have. I have played it multiple times. Oh, wait. Oh, I guess we were supposed to respond to this before. Hold on. Wait. What? What the fuck? What the hell? Missive is archived. What? But I didn't send... I told it to go back. I didn't tell it to send... Oh, whatever. Your bird finds me on the road to conflict and bloodshed. I cannot but wonder at the wisdom of the decisions and acts that have brought us to this point. I would not question the Overlord's will, yet I find myself divided. This edict comes to pass, and I never see your court again. I hope that you remember this agreement that we forged when you swore me into your service. Okay, fair enough. Where are we even at? Oh, wow, we lost all the Scarlet Corps' favor, regardless of what we had before. Interesting. Yeah, it's all because of the voices of Neuron. Wow, okay, so yeah, there was no options there. We were going to end up at war with one of them. Because of the other meeting of Tate. Yes, I have seen jokes of that. I have seen jokes of that in many places. I wonder if maybe I should have picked the option that forced them to compromise, even if it ended up getting me some wrath with both of them. Oh, I can see why they say Tyranny is one of those games that you really do have to replay. It doesn't work. I mean, I'm more concerned that it results in this, where I lose all my favor with one and gain full wrath. Like, I would like to see if it would have, they brush you off. Oh, okay. Yeah, meanwhile, we've got almost full favor with Graven Ash. Tunon still likes us. Ebb is fine with us. She's already got us at above 3. Was elated, was appalled by your demanding, domineering ways. Oh, get over it. Somebody at Ebb. Oh, I can't even check to see what it does. Oh, I can just mouse over it. Ebb and the party are lifted into the sky. Ebb then radiates moonlight, healing allies and harming enemies. Nice. And imbues the Fatebinder's weapons with the ability to channel lightning through it. While the effect remains, the Fatebinder's attacks will evoke a powerful electrical explosion. Yep, Verse is still okay with us. That's good. Unlock this tier. Barrack, surprisingly, has less than Verse. Lantry's almost to level 3 as well. Ooh, and then he gets a Wheel of Ages. Allied target, emitting foe for 30 seconds. Foe AoE gets minus 20 dodge, minus 20 parry, only for 5 seconds. Oh, but it, okay, pulses for every 3 seconds, so there's only a downtime of 2. Hostile effects suspended for 3 seconds, pulses every 3, gives us some recovery. Very nice, gives us a nice touch there. And the Vendrian Guard are completely dead. You killed Vendrian Guard soldier, 88. We killed 88 of them over the course of this first act. Ebb isn't into dominant men. Oh, Jesus Christ. Verse has been around with a touch longer. True. Oh, and we picked up this. So we have... Okay, interesting. Oh, I kind of wish I'd picked a few additional choices to get their wrath all the way to the top, but I guess we'll find out if we can. So there's also the Bronze Brotherhood, which was the mercenary group. We have the Disfavored. We picked up Stand Together, Stand Tall, which gives a +2 resolve aura. Very nice. Oh, and we can... Oh, that's actually a lot of damage, too. Essentially, yeah, Favor of the Fatebiter. Essentially, we're tapping into Graven Ash's protection ability if we get that far. Very nice. And the Scarlet Chorus, of course, we lost everything there. All right. Okay, hide completed quest. There we go. Speak with Barrack. Oh, interesting. Travel to Tunon's court and investigate the spires. Oh, okay. We can do that. Once we finish exploring around here, we can at least. Oh, right, that was a dead end. Did I see Ebb's portrait again? I don't know if I can bring it up here. Yeah, she's definitely a slightly older woman. I'll leave that up for a few seconds so you can watch it. I know there's usually a tiny bit of a delay no matter how much my internet works. There we go. Oh, there's a secret. Down, boy. Down. Is there anything? Oh, there is some more stuff in the entry hall now. Oh, why is that? Put that in the stash. Yeah, there we go. And camping supplies and a lesser healing potion. Always good. Let's see what's outside. I'm assuming the people we hire are out here. Central spire stretches into the clouds, towering at a height that is difficult to comprehend. From here, it appears completely unassailable. Oh, this is cool. We get our own fortress. Ooh, nobleman's hat. It has the same qualities as my hood. Does it look stupid? It does look stupid. It actually somehow looks stupider than what we have on.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
Nice.
Right.
A free potion. Oof, we're gonna have to
I'd say
work.
that's worth a second glance.
Can't do that.
Camping supplies, lesser healing potion, greater. The greater healing potions are 75% health. Very nice. Damage dates back to Pyrrhus' initial conquest. This is one of the few blemishes remaining in testament to the Vendrian Guard's reconstruction efforts. Alright, they tried. Alright, let's get off the wall. They're on top? Oh. Well, we'll finish exploring around here, and then we'll jump back up there to see if there's anyone I want to train real fast. That is a bronze javelin. What else have we got around here? That is a battle axe. Nothing over there.
I'll be your shadow.
So it does seem that there's more passive perception than there was in Pillars of Eternity, but it does seem that when you drop into stealth, you can spot the items from a bit further away is the only main difference. I saw something else over here. There we go. Cheese! We found cheese. Glorious cheese. Well, hopefully it'll allow me to just walk right back up to the top. And we no longer have a time limit. Yay! World map. Ooh. Can we... Yes. Yeah, the Burning Library, the Cacophony, the Iron Hearth, the Sentinel Stand, Sunset Spire, and the Bastard City. Very nice, very nice. Obviously, we should go see... Oh, my... Why can't it just give me the option to teleport to the top? That's kind of stupid. That's kind of stupid. Oh no, I have to go through all of these loading screens for this, don't I? Yeah, that's kind of aggravating. Not gonna lie, kind of aggravating. Let's take me to the top. Ah, okay, okay. Oh. Well, if it isn't the big bad boss, come to look at my wares. Handpicked from the finest of battlefield corpses, I can assure you. The Scarlet Chorus member's milky, dead eyes roll in their sockets as he bows deeply, mocking you. What'll it be, boss? Corpse Eye. Not really a name you come across every day. Unusual, yeah? His eyes, cloudly and scarred, bob unfocused in their sockets, and he grins at you, revealing several cracked and missing teeth. Fitting, you tell me. You can't shake the eerie feeling that despite appearances, Corpse Eye is in fact able to see. After all, didn't you recently witness him fighting on the battlefield? Regardless, he doesn't seem to find his condition at all distressing. How did you end up in the chorus? How does anybody if not through piss poor luck? Know what happens when the chorus comes a calling at your door and you don't open up? Worse than this, he warns, waving two fingers over his eyes. But I figure I've made my way of things. Working for a fate binder now. Finer honor could there be, right? He laughs, chokes, and hobs a gob of spit at your feet. What is your opinion on the voices of Narat? Were I a betting man, which I am now thanks to the chorus, I'd put my rings on Narat, and any churl with two wits about him would do the same. Scarlet Chorus member shrugs. I don't fear many things no more, but he's one of them. Why do you fear him? He's got a real means of making his problems go away. Big or small, you don't want to be one of the problems, boss. I'd like to talk. Sure, boss, sure. You talk, I pretend to listen. I prefer one-sided conversations with figures of authority. Makes it real easy on me. Let's see what you have in stock. Ooh. Okay, okay. Various superior Scarlet Figure armies that are worth a lot of money right now. Crimson Spear armors. Yeah, it's all... Only kills in shadow can... Oh, it's for Beastmen. Okay, so that's obviously for... I would want to see about... Oh, that is pretty expensive. But that is just a straight upgrade for her. We'll go with the most efficient one. We'll buy the Scarlet Fury armor for right now. No, that's too expensive. And we'll see about using that for verse. No, I just... There we go. There we go. And we'll go ahead and sell that. There's no laws against the Beastman Fatebinder. We can do whatever we want. Actually, knowing Kairos, there probably are very specific laws about that, Brown Bear. Oh, who are you from? Oh, Lethian's Crossing. A thin, sinewy man looks out over the horizon, legs firmly planted on the ground as he practices his strikes. His arm snaps towards an invisible target in methodical fashion, alternating one after the other. He stops as you approach, an amused smirk upon his face. And that, Fatebinder, is exactly what I advise you not to do. He laughs, punching the air again while adopting a cretinous expression. That may work when you've got 100 stone shields at your back, but someone like you thrives with a little more creativity. He stiffens up in a mock formality, offering you the slightest of bows. That's where I come from. That's where I come in. Or so your generous sum of rings has led me to believe. No respect for the disfavored. On the contrary, I've all the respect in the tears for them. They just don't happen to care for it. He points towards the northern horizon. They're not fond of bastards, even if your mother happened to serve in the disfavored. My boyhood dreams were of joining the Legion and being cloaked in the purple and iron, but now I spend my days dancing around fools that think a breastplate makes them a better fighter. He nods, satisfaction evident in his tone, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And how should one fight? Iron and bronze are crutches for the unskilled, and honors the delusion of the fool. Remember that, and use it ruthlessly to your advantage. I prefer to dance around my foes, tripping them with the weight of their own armor, or stabbing them with their own blades. Even better, winning the fight before it starts. Walk around in my rags, and seasoned warriors won't hardly give you a second glance. Their years of training won't amount to much when their sword arm suddenly breaks, or when their balls have been compressed into fine paste. Oh, God. Ah! Don't describe that. I could teach you about making that fine paste. Stop it! May not grace the pages of a sage's chronicle, but it'll make you laugh at night when you're counting your rings and drowning your ale. Like to train. I don't need unarmed combat. I do want more parry and dodge, though. Everyone except Lantry's about to level up anyways. Let's go ahead. You can also do subterfuge, which is nice. Let's go ahead and boost dodge by a couple levels. We really need her to get her parry up. There we go. Barrack, I want you to get your parry up as well. Lantry, you need dodge because hopefully, you will never be on the front line to need to use parry. There we go. I want to keep a couple of ranks in reserve just in case we find a skill that I want to particularly just level the shit out of. Still, I'll take it. That also gets everybody up to level 6, which is very nice. We're going to go ahead and further increase our cooldown capability. That would be great. Verse. Going to increase... Going to increase her accuracy and armor deflection. She needs that for her light. Barrack, we're just going to keep doubling down on strength for right now. I want him to be hitting as hard as possible. Then we'll improve his accuracy after that. As for me, we're going to go over here to Arrow Shield. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. When superior, replace dodge with parry while defending against ranged attacks. And that just seems like a good way to finish that off and not have to worry about that. And that's the only real thing we need from the agility tree. So that way, I can just focus entirely on getting my parry skill up. Other than that, we're going to focus down on magic and leadership, especially because we want to get down to here for more spell slots. Yes. Verse. Increase weapon damage while dual wielding. Yes, please. Barrack. All members gain bonus experience. That could be useful. Root himself in place. It's not so useful. Oh. Enemies near Barrack have their resolve reduced. -1 resolve, which does reduce their physical defenses. That's good. So yes, we're going to go ahead and get that. Thank you, Barrack. Didn't I? There we go. I knew we hired somebody else. Fateminder, come take a look. The dirt-caked Apex local gestures to an old box at his feet. I've got a Beastman's Club in here. I doubt that very much. You step up to the huckster and peer down into the box. It's full of assorted junk, nothing more. Before you can comment, you notice him reaching for your ring belt out of the corner of his eye. Grab his hand. He makes a high-pitched squeal that echoes over the expanse of the valley. I didn't mean nothing by it, I promise. I just wanted to see how many rings you had, so I could adjust my prices accordingly. Revos, at your service. I've come into possession of some items that might be of interest. He waggles his eyebrows. Off the spire he goes. Are these stolen? At first, he seems about ready to spout out a hasty answer, but he pauses and reconsidered. Nope. No, in the sense that they aren't stolen, but yes in the sense that I'm not entirely, he coughs into his fist, licensed. Among other things, Kairos' law of quota and sharing meticulously regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to deserving merchants on an annual basis, but their allowances circulate by design known only to Kairos and Tunon. A former wool peddler may be restricted to selling only copper, and the subsequent year trade fresh vegetables. From the sound of it, it's a desperate attempt by Tunon and Kairos to actually build a command economy that functions, and, well, at least functions in the long term, I should say. I'd hate to imagine what happens the first time there's a massive drought or something somewhere and all of their trade stuff gets disrupted, because I could see many people dying. But wait. Before you throw me into Tunon's dungeon, or worse, consider this. He spreads his arms and turns in a circle. We aren't standing on Taratus. We are standing high above any citizen who is subject to the Overlord's law, and this place couldn't possibly be subject to the same rules that govern down there. He stamps his foot and points to the land below. Do not presume to understand Kairos' will. As a fate binder, I will need to consider the legalities. In the meantime, you are useful to me, and so I will take a look at your goods. Oh, he just has straight up fate binder armor, which is good because the fate binder stuff actually looked really cool, and I would like to have that. Ooh, he has more sigils. He also has a lot of supplies that we can use for the fortress. Therefore, I was above your country, not in it. Yeah, it very much has that vibe, doesn't it? This also seems like to be the perfect person for me to sell all of my junk to. So let's see what we can get from this. Nothing. Sort by item type. We don't need any of these. Well, Ebb is a spellcaster. Probably best to have a throwing weapon like Lantry. We'll keep the Trickster's Tooth or the Sun Soldier Javelin. So, hold on, 7 to 9 and 10 to 12. 8 to 13 and 10 to 12. So it's only weaker on the melee side. It's got way higher accuracy, so yes, we'll save that for Ebb. We'll save the dagger for Ebb. Certainly cast a spell on. Well, you can have fun with Ebb at the fucking tower. We're gonna be leaving her here for now just because I don't know. I would like to keep Lantry with me a little bit longer. I haven't even talked to him yet. Sell the Tearsman Hunting Bow, sell the Bronze Javelin, sell the Sun Soldier's Javelin. She's also going to want heavy armor just to keep people distracted from her. So we'll keep a suit of... We'll keep a suit of armor. We'll keep one of the heavy bronze. I don't even think there's a difference. Wait, what? Why is there no difference? Venturing Guard heavy bronze gauntlets, Venturing Guard light bronze gauntlets. But they have no stat differences. Alright, whatever. Soft cloth bracers, we don't need those. Venturing Guard light bronze helmet and heavy bronze helmet. Okay, there's an actual stat difference here. But the heavy bronze helmet actually looks really stupid, so I might be tempted not to use it. Don't need that. Don't need the Sage's Hood. Don't need the Ceremonial Fatebinder armor. And we don't need the Horde boots. That's all crafting materials and items that we can use. Do not sell those. No, no, no. Go ahead and sell the gems. Sell the poultice, armor. Okay, so we've got 45 bronze rings to work with, which is not even enough to get better. Not, well, hold on. That's light armor leather. That's light armor leather as well, and that is light armor cloth. So let me see here. Deflection, 3%, but no armor. But it does pretty much straight up reduce our recovery. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong person. Ooh, no, we don't want that over the rogue's leathers. That's for damn sure. Loses some armor, gains pierce and fire armor, gains deflection and raw armor. So the overall loss to slash and crush armor is actually much lower. So that might actually be a good choice. Binder of Tunon Hood. That's just a straight upgrade. Or do I want sigils? Directed force, material force, proximate action, deflecting accent. Oh, that one's actually fairly cheap. We'll go ahead and grab that. And then... +1 deflection, +1 precision. that actually increases our recovery slightly, but that's actually good deflection amounts. We'll buy that, and we'll take a profit from that. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and learn that. Thank you very kindly. Drop that off. Oh yeah, we'll get back to having a proper look to us soon, once I can get the other versions of this that are solid. Interesting. Precision, chance to crit, graze to hit, and miss to graze. Nice. Alright, I think that's it.
Right.
I will actually... Worse fashion than Cyberpunk? I mean, it's a fantasy CRPG. We're lucky that we don't look like an absolute bum right now. I do want to train real fast. I want to grab 5 more points in parry. There we go. Wow, my dodge is actually still higher than my parry somehow, and I don't know how. Why is it that high? Do I have something... I don't know. Oh well. Regardless. Training defensive stats is probably still the best choice. Alright, let's get out of here. You are a dodgy fucker. But I want to be able to parry with words, Tenwin. Let me parry them with words. Oh, oh, okay, right. We have to go to the world map. Right. Ooh, we got the voices of Narat over here. We've got a Spire down here. We've got Tunon in the bottom left and Graven Ash in the upper left. So, obviously, we need to go talk with Tunon. To the bastard city of Tunon's court. 1 day, 17 hours, and 45 minutes. I do not like how you describe them as kissable lips. I do not like that. Oh, you're named. What are you? This well-dressed older woman stands apart from the milling crowds of nobles. She stares off into the distance, oblivious to your approach until you're right in front of her. Greetings, she offers a reserve file. Anda Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here. A fate binder, no doubt. Oh, she belongs to the bastard city. You need something from me. What are all these nobles doing in my Lord Tunon's court? She smirks and shakes her head. Trying to look brave, I'll warrant. But if you crane an ear to any of the conversations, you'll hear a very different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up his shop in the bastard city, and we're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. She nods to the assembled nobles. These are the smart ones, though, ring a-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you'd think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle grievances, some to pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know that the adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. How has the city fared since the conquest? Yes, I figured you would, Lord Brownbear. I figured you would. The armies claim the city in quite a more organized manner than I might have expected. I can credit them that much, at least. Thanks to the chorus infiltrators, most of our officials were put to the sword before we even surrendered. The chaos made the takeover fairly easy for Kairos' forces, but controlling the city without any leaders to bend the knee was a bit more difficult. We've suffered our share of hardships, but it seems that Kairos wants us alive. That's a more generous outcome than some of us here were led to believe. I mean, it makes sense. The Bastard City is basically the only entry point into the tiers. Even if Kairos somehow loses the rest of the tiers, if he holds the Bastard City, he can prevent any rebellion from escaping out of it and have a foothold in order to launch a reconquest. Failing that, if someone wants to move into the tiers to try and help them from outside, say a rebel group from elsewhere, they have to pass by the Bastard City, which again, blocks their entry. And what brings a noble like yourself to Tunon's court? A frown cracks her pleasant demeanor. Like the rest of the frightened inbreds here, I came to see Tunon and ask him to right a wrong. My manor was destroyed in the conquest, and I told the adjudicator my woes, but we didn't exactly see eye to eye. Tell me of yourself, Lady Lucretius. I am the daughter of a noble house. We were wealthy enough to live in the city, but our means beyond that were, I'll admit, limited. My mother dealt in fish, textiles, and bronze. By the time I inherited, the business was practically taking care of itself. Of course, all of that changed. Thistleholm is no more, and my name has none of its former weight. Even if we were still in business, Kairos' law would stifle our trading rights. Yep, we've read that. What is Thistleholm? A great sigh deflates her. 'Twas my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the bastard city was not but a dozen thatched roofs and a wagon cluttering for warmth. Compared to the houses of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age had softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds where the lords and ladies strode for amusement. It was a mess, but it was our family's mess, all the same. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught but a gaping hole. What exactly happened during the conquest? Collateral damage happened. When the adjudicator cast his judgment upon the city, he destroyed the districts of the corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and their warehouses. Aged, dignified Thistleholm collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened under her foundations. The bastard city's laws may not have been perfect by Kairos' standards, but my family followed them with respect, and we never took a copper ring more than we ever earned or deserved. I cannot help but feel that my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during his sentencing. So what is your plan? Oh, that's the question. I appealed to the adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land in the outskirts of the city. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming? Can you believe that? She shakes her head. It's not even that I'm opposed to labor, but we are at war. I cannot have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kairos knows what else. Huh. I like this because it's actively acknowledging the authoritarian and collectivist nature of Kairos' laws. Maybe she should invest in security. I think she wants to avoid having to work outside the city is the thing. As she said, she's not opposed to labor. But if the Scarlet Chorus are starting to raid around, and let's be honest, they have to because they don't have a logistical structure really, I think her main thing is just, I don't want to be outside the city, and I'm not as much of an idiot to go building my home outside of where protection is. And let's also be frank, hiring guards just to stop the chorus is a temporary solution at best. I'm afraid that Kairos' laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual, Lady Lucretius. I can appreciate that, especially when there is suffering or corruption on a grand scale. It all makes sense on parchment, doesn't it? He glances to the left and right with unease. I come from a long line of smart and ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it all. Perhaps the Lord Tunon knows something I do not, or maybe... She trails off, shaking her head in doubt. You presume to know more of justice than the adjudicator. No, that is not at all. I'm just saying that I don't understand Kairos' law as well as I thought I did, and perhaps that none of us do. People come here for justice. They get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half of the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. She shakes her head. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of the law, but he's the Overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor, that we're all just pieces on a board and he can move us about wherever the law justifies that we stand, and well, that just doesn't sound legal. Your justice system's colors are black, red, and white. Good luck. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty Empire coded in here, isn't it? Feeling kind of imperial in here, ain't it? No, we're not. We're not blackmailing people for no fucking reason. Tunon is not one to change his mind. Unfair as it might seem, the ruling stands, unless you can actively find some way to argue your case in Kairos' laws. I had no thought to dispute the ruling, but I appreciate the kindness of your tone all the same. It is an uncommon thing to find in the bastard city. Farewell, Fatebinder. Be well. Anybody else with a name that I have to worry about? A bunch of people in the middle. Oh, it's everybody screaming about this. Fatebinder Callio, Regalis, and Novala. And there's our boy, Tunon. Oh boy, everything's about to go to shit up here, isn't it?
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Yeah, I cannot. Not far. To me, it sounds very far. The accent's kind of similar, but I can't hit. They either have a filter on it to give it that effect, or the guy who's doing it's really good with his voice. I can't match that quite well. You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectation. I can get deep enough, but I can't give it quite that resonance that he gives it. Listen quietly. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as experienced. You can well imagine when my version conflicts with his. She makes a dismissive gesture to the Scarlet Chorus representative. On my honor and that of the General, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. I think you need a filter for that, Depth, but there's absolutely an echo added. Yeah, that's more what I was referring to. Oh, you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You are a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice will not see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Bled and Mark will see to your fate.
The Archon turns, and you feel his gaze upon you. The disfavored do value nobility and honesty more than the chorus, I find. Yes, and we do already have some evidence that the Voices of Nerat was assisting the rebellion, even if it was just to make the disfavored look bad.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons could not agree upon a course of action and who should lead the siege. Over the course of a few days, this descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed at first a mutual spat. You can just fib to his face unprompted. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's a bit weird. The disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the guard at every turn. Oh, balderdash. The disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves against the enemy if Ash and his legion would have agreed to a plan. They grazed the grass, the presence caused the flap of the tent to blow. Oh god, yeah. I don't think Tunon would appreciate us exaggerating to that extent, but it would be funny.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. The disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appeal for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
Yeah, Tunon just hates that you lie. So that'll be interesting if we can actually get him more on our side just by being truthful to him. It is no lie, my lord. I claim the Citadel with a small unit of the disfavored at my back.
An efficient solution. The type I would expect from a capable agent. Tell me, though, with the edict looming overhead and death the price of failure, why not employ the numerical advantage of the Scarlet Chorus?
Stated you can play a rebel pass and somehow have Tunon be 100% approval due to following the law to the letter just in your favor. I mean, yeah, it's very much a case where it feels like Tunon is bound to his magic as much as his magic is bound to him. He's not just a lawgiver, he is literally a physical embodiment of the law. Is that Mercer too? It might be. I'd have to listen to it again. Now that you mentioned it, I want to listen to it closer. The Voices of Nerat provoked General Ash at every turn. I had begun to suspect treachery, or at the very least, incompetence. For a long while, the adjudicator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
For a moment, it sounded like him. I can kind of hear it. I get why you would think that's Sent. I can definitely hear it. But if Tenwin's saying it is somebody else, then I could easily see it being someone else. It's kind of hard sometimes with Matt Mercer. Sometimes he does voices that are so similar, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's definitely Matt Mercer. And then other times he just pulls random voices out of his ass, and you're just like, wait a second, that was Matt fucking Mercer? I've told you all that I know, Lord Tunon.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder.
I mean, you're not wrong, Sint. You probably should. You probably should suspect him around the corner of every CRPG. Range is a good sign of talent. It is. It is.
A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
I do, if you can give me a role that they've been in, I might be able to recognize the voice, but I have a hard time recognizing voice actors and actors and actresses in general. I have a hard time with it. Oh, the Darkest Dungeon narrator. Oh, that would be glorious. He should just do more voice acting in general. God, that would be good. Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. God, it's good. I've barely played Darkest Dungeon. It's still so good. Imagine him as Tunon. I think he could pull it off. He does Lovecraft audiobooks. Oh, that actually sounds really good. He definitely has the voice for it.
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Oh, those are
Will do.
gates back there. For some reason, when I was looking at them over here, I thought they were bookshelves, but no, they're gates. Oh, what's this? What did we pick up? I don't remember. No. Oh. Main sigil. Recovery sigil. Which one did we pick up? I don't remember. Was it the recovery sigil? I don't remember. Oh well. Hold on. Maybe it's... I don't know. Whatever. If you were curious, they renamed the Arm of the Cat to Blackman so they could be read out loud. I mean, yeah. The funny thing is, if I remember correctly, I mean, yes, Lovecraft has... You can look up all the things that Lovecraft had problems with back then. But if I recall specifically, the cat was actually one of his parents, and he just happened to get a hold of the cat after said parent died. So in that case, it wasn't even his fault, although he didn't rename it or anything. So to be fair, it's a cat. Cats don't really care what you name them 99% of the time. When Darkest Dungeon came out, he did a fair amount of VA work around the gaming sphere on that side, not as a main VA. Well, I hope he gets more stuff, because he has a truly impressive voice. But in Dota 2, you have a voice pack from Wayne June for the announcer. It's good stuff. Nice.
I'll do it for the North.
No. I was trying to have my character approach.
You got
I forgot Barrick is the one in the front. I don't even know where my character is. There we go. Ooh. The ornament atop the throne resembles Tudon's mask. It always seems to meet your gaze regardless of where you are standing. Cat used to listen to his name when I got him. Now he's outside Cat. There's no civility. A name is not needed anymore. So he just ignores it, unlearned it. He was the highest type of xenophobic to a level where he's afraid of air conditioning the color. Yes. I would actually go so far as to say his thing was specifically xenophobic, not even necessarily racist, because the man was just, oh, it's not a New England Protestant who can trace their descent back to the Anglo-Saxons of Middle England. Automatically, he was horrified of them. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You could be a Frenchman. He was horrified. A Welshman. He was horrified. Scotsman. He was horrified. You had to be a very, very specific, very, very small set of person for him to not immediately respond with some level of either distrust or hostility. And he was only, from the sound of it, at least from what I remember of the writings of some of the other authors he worked with, he was only just starting to get out of it when he died. Like, he was actually getting a bit better towards the end of his life, and then he died. Like, yeah, Lovecraft was on a whole other level for some of that stuff. Okay, let's talk to Tunon.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Tunon regards you in thoughtful silence. I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
My understanding, Lovecraft suffered some form of all-consuming agoraphobia. Hell, I hear the idea of some of his writings came from observing beached fish. Imagine looking at a fish and imagining extra-dimensional horrors from beyond the stars. I know that definitely played a part into it. His upbringing, his sickly health when he was younger, all of this stuff played an aspect. It's one of those cases where it's like, it's definitely one of those cases where it's like, we won't get somebody like Lovecraft again because the circumstances that went into creating a mind that was as damaged as Lovecraft in that specific fashion are I mean, it's just something you don't encounter nowadays. Like outside of maybe people who do not have the skill of writing, maybe in some backwater in the middle of nowhere. But his was a very specific combination of well-educated and thoughtful with just a horrible upbringing on account of his mother and a horrible cultural upbringing on account of his father, combined with his innate things like agoraphobia and things like that. And it just created, well, on the negative side, it created an attitude that no one would have wanted to deal with. On the positive side, it created a person who had such strange insights into how they wanted to write about the world. His father had syphilis when Lovecraft was born. Syphilis does things to the mind. It can transfer the child at birth. Yeah, I mean, there's a large variety of things that could have gone into just the particular flavor of fucked up that was Lovecraft. Both the good and the bad. When I say fucked up, I mean both the good and the bad of him. Because let's be honest, if he wasn't so fucked up, we never would have gotten the Cthulhu mythos. We never would have gotten some of his writings.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the Tiers.
You should stream Darkest Dungeon at some point. Yeah, there might be too much salt. We might be able to do that. Maybe I'll do that on like an off day or something like that when we're in between games. And if there's enough interest, if people like watching me rage a bit at it, we can play more of it and see if I can finish it. Interesting. Is it possible that they could both be guilty, Your Honor?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name, but you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem, and Graven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past.
Favorite description of Eldritch Horror was, imagine that you're an ant walking over a circuit board. As far as you know, it's just a surface, but for a moment you comprehend its full significance, but struggle to communicate it to the other ants. Yeah. No, that's a pretty good analogy. Take this responsibility with great care. Ooh, boost time. Yeah, no.
No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy. You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony, but it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
If Graven Ash were somehow guilty, I would imagine that his soldiers would lie for him.
I concur. Graven Ash has a reputation for honor and nobility, but nobody is above reproach. If he is guilty of treachery in some fashion, his loyal soldiers will not be the ones to betray him. But if anyone is conducting a symphony of lies, common sense would point to the voices of Nerat.
Okay, Lord Brapp. I do wonder what is the do Fatebinders have families? Are they even allowed under Kairos' law? Given the fact that Tunon basically owns them. They're essentially state slaves to his will. I suppose you'd have to ask Tunon for permission to start a family, and he'd probably say no.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecoats and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them.
That would be the way to present it, Tenwin. That might actually win him over. Yes, Graven Ash had a son and daughter. We've heard that. I would still like to know more about that, because that seems to be something big with his character.
There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
Tunon hovers in observance, awaiting a response. I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds for the Empire.
It pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local Tearsmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title.
I mean, he's basically talking about the reputation system here, essentially.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood. I shall endeavor always to be known as a champion of justice.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians.
I think you impressed Brown Bear there by describing that the way you did, Tenwin. When did we start to simp for Ebb? Brown Bear started simping the second we recruited her. Quite literally on the dot.
You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the Tears in Kairos' name.
Tunon raps his gavel against the floor, the singular note resounding through the hall. When you met her in Blue Flag, you were not nearly this open about it when we met her the first time. Unless I'm misremembering. Can we talk to Tunon more? Oh. You return. It is gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots. What is it you wish to know? My lord, I will admit that I am curious. I wish to know more about the Overlord. Kairos is our Overlord. Wait, what? Give away that she was a party member too. I mean, I kind of figured that out, but... Oh, I've been misgendering Kairos this whole time. Oh, okay. She ushers us from the brink of chaos with a stern hand and gestures to the way of peace. We are only too eager to follow in her perfect example. I really don't want Tunon's Wrath. I really want to bring him over to my side, so I'm going to avoid... Well, to be fair, it's gain minor wrath, not lose favor, so... You refer to Kairos as a woman. Beware of the trajectory of thought.
Save for her perfection, there is little about Kairos to which we would ascribe recognizable attributes. A power as distant and unknowable as the Overlord should transcend our petty dualities. Male, female, it makes no difference. Kairos is mother to us all. Ah. Yeah, okay, I see. But if I recall correctly, Tunon was the first Archon to serve Kairos. So if anyone would know, it would be Tunon. So I think it's kind of telling that Tunon, as a default, refers to Kairos as she. Interesting. How old is Kairos? By our reckoning, her age upon Taratus is magnificent. Her true span defies measurement by our limited construct of time. It would be a waste to spend our few pitiable years attempting to resolve that riddle of existence. Think of Kairos not as a subject to beginnings or endings. Kairos is, and Kairos will ever be. What is your relationship to Kairos, my lord? She is my master, and I her dutiful pupil. In this respect, you and I are no different. I have the honor of Kairos' confidence. She trusts me to enact her law upon the boundless territory of her rule. I am only too grateful to serve. Curious he doesn't just say all his balls. The way he's talking, he's referring to Kairos almost as if she was a constant. As if it's like Kairos isn't a person. Kairos isn't even a thing. People can die. Things can fade from existence. He is speaking about Kairos as if Kairos is a force of nature. As if Kairos simply exists and we all have to deal with that. I am the voice of Kairos' will, the harbinger of her judgment, the arm of her justice. Yeah, I already know that's not going to be a good time. If I may ask, who is Bled Mark? He is my headsman, an assassin without equal. His official designation in Kairos' hierarchy is as the Archon of Shadow, though I wonder that he ever considers himself aught but a slayer of the unjust. How did he earn such a title? His work away from the court takes Bled Mark to the darkest places of the world, the Tiers and Northern Empire alike. Over time, shadows became his dominion. They cloak him, protect him, and even fight for him if the need arise. Same gender as Slanesh. Only Noise Marines wouldn't be so ugly. How dare you insult the Noise Marines? They're doing everything they can to look as horrible as possible because it offends you. This quiet offends, Slanesh. Things will get loud now. I love that meme. That's the old Brava Alpha Boosta stuff. Yeah, that's the old Brava Alpha Boosta stuff. It is said that Bled Mark can travel to any place where shadows are cast. Only he would know this for certain. Does he serve you alone? Your question is flawed, my student. We are all servants of Kairos. The Archons are agents of their own interest. Those chosen few empowered to bring order to the world in accordance with Kairos' peace. At present, Bled Mark is my vassal, and I his patron. The relationship is not so different from Graven Ash and Care, the fallen Archon, or the voices of Narat and his songbird, Sirit. Such partnerings and apprenticeships are common. They provide mutual benefit to the Archons involved, as well as a measure of oversight. I am curious about you, my lord. Curiosity is not a trait that I encourage in my servants. Too often have I witnessed such activity leading down a path to lawlessness. Your fate better should actually be familiar with Bled Mark story-wise since it's part of Tunon's court. I mean, he might know of his existence, not necessarily the details. However, if you feel that a better understanding of me will inform your work, then I will allow it. What would you know? Could you tell me about your rise to become Kairos' adjudicator? Curb your ambition, student. My path to this dais is not one that could be replicated under any circumstances. However, your curiosity is determined. I will tell you my story.
Ooh, I can gain a bunch of loyalty for Lantry, or I can get a bunch of gain major favor. Ooh. Yeah, let's get that up to tier 4. My lord, I wish to understand the law and your execution of it. I had expert on when I played and asked every dumbass question under the sun and gained wrath left and right. Yeah, I imagine. An admirable pursuit. You know much of Kairos' law and the maintenance of order already. My history may tell you something of how it can be used to win wars. I came into this world centuries ago, before the dream of a unified Northern Empire was fully realized. My home country lay far from the borders of Kairos' realm then, and our conquest was a matter of distant speculation. Decades before rumor of Kairos' approach grew in panicked volumes, I had already familiarized myself with the intricacies of her law. It took me no time at all to realize the benefits of our inevitable subjugation. You have pizza now? Damn you, brown bear. Stop reminding me about food that I can't have today. I took it upon myself to rise in my country's governance as an arbiter of law and drafter of covenants, building some notoriety for my execution of fair justice. As my influence and the trust of my people evolved, my decisions transcended to find future precedent. Go on. What my countrymen could not have surmised was that I had woven into our customs the very backbone of Kairos' law. I set the stage for the conquest of our floundering nation to join the Overlord's empire. Pizza, onion rings, tiramisu. There's an Italian restaurant in my town that I like going to. Stop reminding me. By the time the Overlord's armies presented themselves and offered terms of surrender, we had adopted Kairos' peace in all but name. Our absorption into the Empire was a matter of mere formality. Negligible changes to our already beloved documents of law. The people credited me as an architect of peace, and for a time they called me Tunon the Fair. As my importance grew in their estimate, Kairos could not help but learn of the part I played in her bloodless victory. We played the role of a frumentarii before even joining Kairos. I mean, you could say it that way, but I'd almost liken it more to being basically a fanboy is not the right word, but it's definitely someone who seemed to have been fairly singular in their education and basically saw Kairos' law as being far better than anything they could have come up with on their own. Tunon strikes me as a very logical person. Like, he very much looked at it and said, yeah, personal freedom, that doesn't matter to me. I care about how the law works. I care about people's end results. I care about using that law to achieve as fair a society as possible. Or at least as fair by Kairos' standards. Kairos' law has a breadth of intricities that are unapproachable to the masses. I was chosen to interpret and represent the Overlord's will across the Empire and beyond, this time as adjudicator. It is my pride, my duty, my life. What does it mean to be an Archon? I am a figure of power and significance. Under Kairos' mandate, I am able to exercise my authority for the benefit of all. Had I not earned the Overlord's approval, I would not stand tall before you. Did you come into power yourself, or did Kairos foster your talents? An astute question, pupil. Doubtless I exhibited some spark of potential on my own, insignificant though enough to accomplish deeds of note. Only under Kairos' tutelage have I grown to these heights. Most of the conflict of the story comes from conquest and not Kairos' law itself. Yeah. Say what you will, the Empire does actually seem to be run pretty competently, which is basically the first major hurdle of running a quote-unquote evil empire, usually. Usually you have too many rulers of evil empires who don't give a shit about how the empire's actually run, and that's part of the problem. You know, when they're not being actively evil. But Kairos is so distant from this that that's not really a problem as long as you're not pissing off the Scarlet Chorus or the Disfavored. Could anyone become an Archon? Absolutely not. Only a precious few grow into this authority. Were it otherwise, Teratus would have descended into pandemonium. For those few who rise into power, fewer still have the self-control to make lawful use of their talents. And though of those who can,
fewer still are deemed worthy of Kairos' approval. In other words, there's probably a mass culling effort across the world. Anytime somebody rises up with the power of an Archon, they're immediately placed in irons and put through God knows what kind of trials. And if they don't swear total fealty to the Overlord, they ain't living. So Kairos does decide who is and isn't considered. Kairos decides who is and isn't considered an Archon. But the way Tunon's saying is that those who have natural access to those abilities, because at least some part of the Archon's ability seems to be a natural magic of sorts for them, those things Kairos doesn't have control over. And I think that's why Kairos is so very careful with how the Archons are. Because they could potentially... Because despite what Tunon's saying here, the way it's reading says to me that yes, potentially anyone could be an Archon. But it is still very much a thing of chance. It's not that anyone could become one, it's that anyone could be one. And once that power awakens, they become a threat. At least to Kairos. Is every Archon subservient to Kairos? All are subservient before Kairos, but I intuit your meaning. The Overlord takes great pains to recognize potential. Before an Archon comes into their power, they will have faced the harshest of scrutiny by an agent of recruitment, if not bled and mark itself. Those who are found worthy of incredible deeds but refuse to join their strength to the needs of the Empire are doomed to die. Those who wish to make a name for themselves are invited into the fold to serve and rule the needs of the Empire. That is the price of power in Kairos' hierarchy. Were you the one who created the office of the Fatebinders? Indirectly, yes. Just as I am the representative of Kairos' law across Terratus, you are the face of my judgment for the people. I took inspiration from the Overlord's example, as we all should. You're right on the money? Yep. The people need an approachable face to settle their grievances, and I am not available to adjudicate upon every sharecropper's dispute. The Fatebinders were an inevitable solution. Why do you feel that curiosity is such a problem? Because my vassals are not selected for independence of thought. You are an agent of the law, the execution of which falls within strict confines. Thank God you aren't ugly, because nobody likes an ugly face. To be fair, maybe that's why Tunon wears a mask. Your intellect may aid the tasks ahead of you, but your unwavering obedience is of greater value. Would you not wish for me to interpret Kairos' laws in order to cover the broadest spectrum of circumstance? Naturally, but take care not to let your intellect veer from the straight path. I have seen it happen, and I have lost more than one pupil who thought themselves above their station, convinced that they knew better. What happened to them, my lord? Any who overstepped their bounds is given the opportunity to amend their ways. Those who fail to heed my warnings show contempt for the peace and are treated accordingly. The purpose of law is to set the standard for others. Though I am generous with the freedom I offer my Fatebinders, you are still tied to the law. Straining that tether to a breaking point will reflect poorly on you. Prefers goons to agents? That's actually not quite the vibe I got, Brown Bear. I think it's more that Tunon is well aware that he needs someone who is as obedient as a goon, but as capable of independent action as an agent. And unfortunately, that means his ability to actually recruit people is shockingly small. Even the disfavored under Graven Ash are a whole army. As far as we know, Tunon has maybe a handful of Fatebinders. His personal army, quote unquote, is a handful of agents, and that's it. And many of those agents will not reach their full potential because, as he even indicated, some of them will essentially go off the reservation and he'll have to get rid of them. I imagine that there are very few old Fatebinders, save for those who have been able to straddle that fine line of being able to operate independently while still being totally loyal to Tunon's version of the law. Because too many people, when given that power, will start to basically make their own decisions on things. It's not even a matter of ego. It's just a matter of, well, you've been given power and you've been given the will to execute it. Inevitably, you're going to make decisions that other people don't like.
inevitably you're going to step on some toes. The thing with Tunon is that the toes you might be stepping on are capable of wiping you from existence. No, we're not going to ask about the mask. I wish to speak of matters of law. You are well situated, for my court is the legal heart of this corrupt and uncivilized realm. What matters draw your curiosity? You are already well versed in the laws, but I am happy to discuss the particulars. I wish to discuss Kairos' peace as a whole. The cornerstone of our wartime efforts. Kairos' peace guarantees all willing supplicants under the Overlord's authority a place in her world. The exact wording of the bylaw is, your life is not yours to discard. The Overlord has plans for you. This extends to several spheres of influence. Among others, it grants protection to enemies who surrender in times of war and strictly forbids suicide. To dispense with the Overlord's vassal and property is prohibited. Interesting, an evil overlord who outlaws suicide and is literally taking a very religious sounding way. Like, this very much seems like how many Christian sects define God's will on the matter of suicide, basically saying God gave you a life to live it, and God gave you a life to live it, and you have to actually go along with that no matter how hard your life is. What would be the point of outlawing suicide? To provide societal pressure on friends and family and communities to prevent someone from committing suicide. You're essentially trying to create a social stigma around people who might try to go for it and would then be ratted out by their neighbors or by their family to prevent the rest of the community from being harmed, legally or otherwise, by someone violating such a law. Given the communal thinking of this empire, this very authoritarian, very communal punishment, communal kind of style thing, it wouldn't surprise me if the punishment for suicide is for your family to essentially be stripped of possessions, turned into slaves, a variety of other effects. So the whole point is very much like, oh, even if the person commits suicide, their family will suffer. Like, that needs to be known to those who might try to commit such a thing. Also, with just how overreachingly authoritarian Kairos is, when Kairos' law says the Overlord has a place for you, I think she's being very literal. Like, this is a command economy and a authoritarian style of government taken to its logical fantasy extreme. Like, we haven't quite gotten to the point of mass mind control or anything like that, but it wouldn't surprise me if Kairos is working on at least some of that. Though given Kairos is also somewhat skeptical about magical abilities, it might be that she doesn't trust such things and would rather actually enforce things through more, physical means. And yes, destruction of government property would be how it would be classified under the law, I'd imagine. I wish to ask about how the Overlord's name may be used. It is not forbidden to cross one's tongue with Kairos' name, but it behooves one to use caution and respect. The Overlord's name is not yours to give, whether to progeny, product, location, or abstraction. Slander of the Overlord in this fashion is punishable by death. See, even in this, they're making Kairos a singular constant entity. No place is named after them. No product is named after them. You can't name a law or something after them. It's just Kairos. Kairos, Kairos, Kairos always refers to just one thing and to nothing else. There is only one Kairos. Her name is a safeguard. No one may say Kairos and have it obfuscated by a second meaning. No statue of them? Possibly. This could... I have noticed we haven't seen really much in the way of art or anything. I mean, authoritarian governments aren't well known for their art in the first place, but not even like the brutalistic art that you saw sometimes with the Soviet Union or the Nazis in Germany. This is very much purely abstract. There's no physical depiction. It's very iconoclastic, as if all of the graven images were done away with under Kairos' rule. Neither will her name be associated to any trivialities. A gambler will not attribute his fortune to Kairos' luck, or his misfortune to Kairos' scorn. Such an association lowers the Overlord in the public estimate and is rightly considered slander most foul. What of the old walls, my lord? The old walls are forbidden, as are their contents and their denizens. Owning any item from the old walls is considered trespass, regardless of how one came into your possession. Mind that in the course of your travels. So we're definitely going to be diving into them at some point. As the old walls extend across much of the tiers and Northern Empire alike,
Kairos permits her servants to pass only where she has sculpted the landscape to permit traverse. Under no circumstances are you to enter a breach in the old walls, even for a task as innocent as crossing to the other side. If these restrictions seem too severe, I would remind you that they are for the protection of Kairos' subjects. The Overlord has no desire to see harm needlessly inflicted upon loyal followers. I wish to speak of the Magician's Folly. Practitioners of the arcane art must be sanctioned by one of the Kairos guilds, such as the Blood Chanters or Forge Bound. Rogue magicians with a tenuous grasp of unknown powers will not be tolerated. A sanctioned mage whose spellcasting causes damage to life or property is lawfully deemed innocent, so long as they practice their art in the service of Kairos. All is forgiven. I wish to speak of the quotas and sharing system. The harvest blooms and blights by the will of Kairos. In times of lean you will be fed, in times of wealth you will feed others. This law is a sizable category unto itself, serving many needs at once, trade and tax being only two examples. The broadest intent of the law is to empower Kairos' subjects to care for their neighbor and expect care in turn. Yeah, it's a purely not communistic in the sense that we think of it, but communalistic, a communal style of application to the world at large. It does have some shades of authoritarian communism, not gonna lie, but I don't know. I don't want to bring up modern politics into this. I really don't. You might take note of the law's application to trade. A merchant's right to peddle their wares is defined by permits that are granted each year. The regional authority has the right to decide if a merchant sells cabbage one year and sandals the next. Anyone breaking through their restrictions is subject to immediate forfeiture of assets. Yeah, it's a total control economy. It's control to the extent that even many nation states nowadays haven't done. The idea that you could take a merchant who sells one thing one year and then completely shift them the next is, if it wasn't for the social safety net, essentially, that this creates, this would be impossible. It would be physically impossible. You would drive everyone out of business within a year. But because they have this, essentially a social safety net of sorts, to care for their neighbor and expect care in return. Yeah, in times of lean, you will be fed. In times of wealth, you will feed others. The problem this has, though, is it has the same problem all command economies have, which is what happens if you get hit by a time of lean that lasts longer than you were prepared to feed everyone? What happens if you have a time of wealth and then suddenly you have rampant inflation because everyone's doing well? Like, it can't handle those extremes. And once that happens, it encourages enriching a community as a whole instead of robber baron-esque amassing wealth. Well, yes, it does. But it also prevents anyone from bettering their circumstances by using that wealth for themselves or their family. It's not just a matter of robber baron-esque. It's also, it's the horrible combination of we won't let anyone starve, but we also will not let anyone rise up. Because anyone that rises up is automatically working against the system that we've created. And as we've seen with Tunon, there's no exceptions there. It doesn't matter if you were doing it for the betterment of the Empire, you still broke the law. More preventing threats. Yes, and preventing individual resources from accumulating in any one area, which could prove to be, even if not a threat to Kairos, could throw the system out of whack. This is the most brutally totalitarian of control economies, and it partially only works because Kairos has managed to get everything under control. Oh, I read that. You need not concern yourself over the nuance, at least until they apply to this contested realm in a time of peace. I am also curious about the restriction upon forbidden knowledge. Kairos herself sets the standard for what can and cannot be known. These restrictions are rarely enforced, but they are worth taking into account. During the war, Kairos deemed the knowledge of the Vellum Citadel taboo. No one may possess the wisdom of that fallen repository save Kairos herself. Calling it a taboo seems a bit overkill, but to play Kairos advocate... Careful, Lantry, we literally just had a discussion about using the name of the Overlord in a flippant fashion. Please do not do so in front of the guy in charge of enforcing it. The world would be hardly be safer if all had access to lore of making poisons, or the art of arming brigands in fine bronze. This is for the protection of her subjects. Before the coming of Kairos during the ages of anarchy and discord, powerful knowledge in undeserving hands leveled empires without thought or mercy. Kairos has no desire to revisit those dark days. More preventing threats to Kairos, this fucking guy. Kairos advocate, he's compared Kairos to the devil a little bit. Clearly we need to switch him for M. Oh dear, I think, god damn it, it's spreading. First brown bear, now Sint. Fuck. Am I beholden to these laws? That should not be in question. We are all subjects of Kairos, and her laws define and regulate our very way of life. Just ready with the beam. Sure you are, Sint, sure. With that said, as an agent of law, you are granted more leeway than a soldier or citizen. You may find yourself compelled to commit morally questionable acts in the name of Kairos. If it serves the court's justice, much may be forgiven. If the court finds any of your actions suspect, we will summon you to answer yourself. Your testimony will be heard, and judgment rendered. This is morally questionable acts of the game, pretty much. You are exceedingly curious about the application of Kairos' law, but I find it refreshing that you would seek my counsel. And I believe that's all. Thank you, my lord.
Will do.
That pretty much wrapped up nearly the ending of the stream. So if that's the case... Ooh. Speak with Tunon privately. Yep, we did that. Meet Graven Ash. Speak with... You know what? We'll speak with Barrick before we end. Fatebinder, if you have a moment. Barrick stands at attention, his rigid bearing making him an unmoving statue. There have been a number of times since I came into your service in which I have not agreed fully with your choices. That said, never have I fully questioned your judgment. I hope this pattern holds after you hear the request I now make of you. It's a hug you're looking for. I've got bad news. Relax, Barrick. Speak your mind. I had hoped that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. What are you talking about? I have been encased in this... He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. Shell, since Kairos' Edict of Storms made a grave of old Stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord, and I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. If you ask about his mask, he explains it briefly. If you ask what's under there, he just glares at you, and then you can tune on. You gain wrath each time. Oh, God, you can be a troll. Oh, boy. If you wish, I will happily make your case to the Archon. Thank you, Fatebinder. His salute rings like a poorly cast bell. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment.
Right.
Oh, I mean, we might as well. We're right here. Let's get this over with. Something tells me Tunon's going to be like, this has nothing to do with the law. What the fuck are you talking about?
Fatebinder, you look as if you would require my counsel. What is it you wish to know?
I carry a request from Barrick of the Stone Shield. It's regarding the Overlord.
And what does Barrick of the Stone Shields want of the court? He has made his displeasure known in a loud enough voice to collapse the tiers upon each other.
The adjudicator glares down at Barrick. He has come to inquire if the Forgebound could help remove his armor.
If he has become encased in iron, that is none of the court's concern. The Forgebound smiths are occupied crafting weapons for the army, and I would not have their focus diverted to liberate a single soldier from his raiment. Stone Shield, do the disfavored not have standards for the upkeeps of arms and armor? Is this not one of your Archon's guiding principle? It is, Your Honor, but I found myself trapped within this armor after the Edict of Storms hit Stalwart. If you were to blame anyone, it would be Kairos.
That was the worst fucking thing you could have said, Barrick. What in the hell? As your lawyer, I tell you to retract that statement immediately. The adjudicator contemplates the matter in total silence. The moment drags on far longer than you would suspect it warrants, but Tunon's interest does not abate for a moment.
The soldier will remain encased in his armor, eccentric though it may be, and all subjects of Kairos are forbidden to aid in its removal. Magic the likes of which none of us understand has touched this stone shield. We will not interfere with the will of Kairos. But I'm trapped.
I'm sorry, Barrick. We'll remember Tunon's warning. Yeah. Yep.
all subjects of Kairos are forbidden to aid in its removal. Ah, I gotcha. Sorry, Barrick. Such is the will of Kairos, and the will of the court. Tunon nods and bangs his gavel. Tunon secretly, this is what you get from claiming it's Kairos' fault. Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Tunon really loves to play up his impartiality, but that deep down, he has some stickling points. And I imagine insulting Kairos directly into his face is one of them. You tried. I suppose that counts for something. The adjudicator didn't say anything about me bending my way out of here, at least. Not that trying has ever made it better.
On it.
You know, I may even be mad about it. He might just be like, you're right, Kairos is responsible, and I won't undo it. Yeah, he might still have shot himself in the foot with that one. Do you have anything else? Only the slightest nod of Barrick's domed helm offers any indication that the soldier noticed your approach. I hate to say it, Barrick, but it shouldn't surprise you that the Archon would not unmake what was wrought by the Overlord's wrath. Surprise? No. Disappoint? Yes. The Archon's decision changes nothing. I have persevered to this point. I shall continue to do so. For the sake of General Ash and the North. Perhaps we will find another way. Your master was very specific in the sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the Forgebound, but from anyone, anywhere in the world. Then perhaps I won't say it directly. I do want to get his loyalty higher. Perhaps some other way to free you will present itself. Perhaps may we make our way to what was once stalwart, we may find some way to remove it from you without utilizing anything that would break my lord's decree. Your optimism does credit, Fatebinder, though I fear it is misapplied. The Forgebound will be curious about you regardless, Barrick. The articulation on your armor is remarkable. At the very least, if we get the chance, we should let them take a look at you. My armor is unique. Perhaps it can teach them something that will aid the disfavored. Yes, I believe we can find most of the Forgebound at their smithy at Lathan's Crossing. Let us leave, Fatebinder. I worry that my presence offends these nobles' precious sensibilities. To be fair, man, you stink of shit and piss. So, he bows his head to you and moves away, trailing behind him the wafting reek of a fetid privy. Poor Barrick. It could be worse. Imagine if Barrick was a germaphobe. Could you imagine? Poor bastard. He'd be so screwed. I think it's caught in one of the armor folds. Oh, God. As I said, I'd like to imagine that the other disfavored probably hosed him down, like, with buckets of water at one point. But that just probably means that it's accumulated at the bottom of the leggings, like in the feet and everything. Ah, God, that sounds horrible. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Fuck. Okay, we've got like 4 minutes left. We're just going to talk to Lantry for a little bit.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. If given the choice between a multifaceted hive mind of treachery and a surly old soldier, General Grumps is the wiser choice. It's patently obvious which Archon is truly loyal to Kairos. So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
I am a servant of the Archon of Justice. That has not changed. General Grumps, he really is part stoner. I mean, I'd imagine.
Spoken. It is Tunon's duty to arbitrate matters between the Archons, so this rift between Ash and Narat certainly falls under his jurisdiction. And here you are, thrust in the middle of the dispute. No doubt the mighty adjudicator will be relying heavily on you to get to the truth of the matter.
Zoinks, Fatebinder. I can't do a Shaggy voice. My ear. My ear's suddenly itchy under my headset. 1 sec. Ah. There we go.
Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Oh, he's right. Taking away the Overlord. Is that what caused that magical explosion that awakened the Spire?
Because with the edict being resolved, that magical energy had to go somewhere, didn't it? Oh. And because we were the one who resolved it. Interesting. Also, Jello, you missed one more R. You forget the Scooby can't say the S, so it's Rutro Raggy. Have you ever heard of an edict being broken before?
Most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Golbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. If the edict's so powerful, I doubt any ward would be able to stop it or counterspell would be able to end it. There's a joke in an old Scooby-Doo episode where they arrive at a floor with a misspelled sign, spelled like Scooby would normally talk, and Scooby pronounces it right. That's a good... I grew up watching a lot of the old Scooby-Doo stuff, so I have a soft spot in my heart for that series and for those characters. Noted. Let's get moving. And that finishes us up for today. We have some more conversations with Landry and Verse when we get back. We might drop Landry for a bit and grab Ebb later. What's new, Scooby-Doo? Yeah. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Da, 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 da. All right, let's not do any more so I don't get copyright struck when I upload this to YouTube. All right, we saved. Let me see if I can pull up somebody to raid real fast. Oh, it didn't even occur to me to check my... I was using OBS to monitor everything. The stream has looked good so far today, right, guys? We haven't had any issues? Sorry, the stream manager on Twitch wasn't updating, and I was very concerned there for a second. Okay, no issues. Good, good, good. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid. There's really not... we'll read into Nagratep again. It looks like... Is he still doing his... He is... Oh, he's at my favorite temple. Yes, we're going to raid into this so I can bitch about Andra for a few seconds in his chat. We're raiding into Nagratep. I think he's still doing his gun challenge run where his entire party is using firearms in Pillars of Eternity, so we can just drop it in there. I hope you all had a glorious Friday. I will see you all on Sunday, and if I don't, I hope you have a glorious weekend. Have a good one. I will check my chat real fast, so that way you can't claim that I wasn't doing this. Thought Pee-wee was really streamed Good Luck Fighting Tyranny. I know, but it's not really that. It's just more raiding into small people, so that way we can all support each other, because there's no real point raiding into big people unless I'm a huge fan of theirs. But they're rarely on when I'm streaming, because if they were on, I wouldn't be streaming at this time. But yes, looking forward to Sunday. I will see you all then. Hope you have a glorious weekend. Have a good one, guys.